Hello and welcome back to the Game Bet Match podcast. I'm your host, Manny Friedman, along with my co-host.
Brad Sloan.
Back in the house, baby. Back in the house for two 250s, massive recap, Roland Garros preview. I mean, it's a
Oh,
content.
I know. It's a great week. It's one of the. It
It
might be
is.
my favorite week of the tennis year.
Really?
I mean, because you have Roland. I mean, qualies are always fun. Slam qualies are always fun. The
Mhm.
250s actually have pretty good draws.
They do. They do.
Um, and then and you have a ton of matches, right? Like
Yep.
you have the
Matches
French
all over
Open
the
to start getting
place.
excited about. Like I'm thinking about the whole week. So like the back half of the week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we'll have our pod over the weekend for the French Open preview.
Mhm.
We'll be getting all pumped up for that. Probably making some futures picks.
But think about it.
This
There's going to be four quarterfinals, right, on Friday for both tournaments, right? Or, well, I think the semis are on Friday, and then the
Yeah.
finals are on Saturday, but we got two
Yes.
matches. Plus, we got all the round one matches look forward to for Roland Garros because it starts Sunday, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be a gazillion lines out. Plus, we have like two 250s. It's fantastic. It's amazing. Like,
Plus, you also have um these 250s are more fun because they have to
yeah,
get them in so fast. There's so many more matches coming at you so much faster.
yeah, it's
Like
so
there were a
true.
couple of matches today, but not really, right? It's
Yeah.
like kind of silly how they like put
Well,
on like
we hit our first GBM play official play in like I feel like it's like 2 weeks. It's
I
been a
know, but
rough
we haven't
run.
had as many. I don't know. It's
True.
like again, like part of having the 2 week masters, right? We just don't we don't have
Yeah.
as much opportunity to make plays, but like because there's just not as many matches. But yeah, I mean we hit on buying it today. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was good. That was a good hit for sure. So how do you want to format this pod?
Yeah, I mean, we may as well start with recapping, right? So we can do a
Mhm.
quick recap of Rome, and then quickly move into some. I've got a new game for us, so I
Okay,
think
sweet.
you might find it interesting.
Nice. All right. So do you wanna get in on the game idea or you wanna do that like as we recap?
It can be in between. Like we can do
Okay.
it. We can do a quick recap and then get into the idea. So
Okay. Sounds
yeah. So
good.
what are your thoughts on Rome, Manny? That was the only tournament the past 2 weeks, and it like kind of sucks because like there's just so
I
few matches
know.
like making these slams.
It's really hard for me to have like true takeaways from this because there were just so many injuries, and it's like I was thinking about like my power rankings, like my clay court power rankings because we did that last year, going into the French Open
Yeah.
or clay court power rankings, and I stumbled at number one. I'm like, who the hell do you put at number one in your clay court power rankings? Like, it can't be Djokovic, it can't be Alcaraz, can't be Sinner, right? Like Zverev, okay,
Yep.
but like going into, Grand Slam play, like where he's 3-15 against top 10 players, like can you really trust him in Grand Slam play? Medvedev, obviously no. Rune, obviously no. Like it's Tsitsipas lost to Jarry, so it's a bloodbath, and it's like I think from a betting perspective, this French Open is going to be a lot of fun because I think there's going to be just a lot of like value because it's not very top heavy as it
I think
used
a
to
lot of
be.
perceived value, right? Like I think we're going to both have a lot of plays. I think there'll be a lot of perceived value based on who you
Yeah.
like. Because to your point, what I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of is and we're seeing it in Geneva this week because of the draws. They're being
Hmm.
like the draw. So the draws aren't that deep, but they are top heavy in both 250s in Geneva and
Yeah.
Lyon. And what we're
Geneva's
seeing is a
tougher.
lot of what we're seeing, at least in my mind, is I was looking at the quarter prices and like you see a lot of like, okay, like this dude is like even or minus money to win the quarter, but yet
Hmm.
like he really should win the quarter, right? Like he's by far the best
Right.
dude. And like I don't think you're gonna see that at the French because there's no I mean, there's not a single guy who separated themselves in my mind and really
Absolutely
said,
not.
I'm gonna win. No, nobody.
No. And like, I guess you got to say Zverev because he's won, the most similar Masters 1000 heading into Roland Garros. But like, just considering his slam record in the past, plus like, who did he beat to get to that Rome title? Like, it's not like I'm super impressed with it. He just kind of took advantage
Beat the
of a
guys
good
in front of him.
draw, right?
I
He
mean,
beat the
look,
guys in
you
front of
can't
him.
blame him. It's not his fault that the
No, it's
schedule was
not.
poor, but yeah, he didn't do anything
But it
special. I
doesn't
agree.
give me that much confidence heading into a Grand Slam.
No,
Like,
I mean, I don't know if there's a single guy like I'm not really excited to back anyone at like a favorite price of like 5 or 6 to 1.
Yeah, I mean,
Because like, who would you want to back? Like, who would you really want to back in this tournament? Like, really back? Not like a pure price play, but like really back. I can't think of a single guy.
I was thinking about Rude, but then like the last three matches were pretty pedestrian, poor performances from him, like against FA in Madrid, and then he lost to Kecmanovic after winning the first set 6-love in Rome. Like, and then he's playing this week to get a rhythm again. Like, it's a
Yeah,
blood,
he's also done
man.
really well in Geneva in the past, so I don't necessarily blame him for that. I mean, yeah, yeah, I guess the loss to Kecmanovic is concerning.
It is.
Um, and like you would think he would do better at altitude, just given his game. You'd think he could at least beat, Felix. Like,
I mean, Sinner, I think, is gonna play. Like their kind of Instagram posts of him like practicing. I don't know how much stock we can put
the
into
reports
that.
I had heard before were that he wasn't going to play.
Yeah, but he's practicing again on the clay, so I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. I have no idea. I think it's going to be like a game time decision for him, you know.
Yeah, I would think that too. I would think
With
that too.
Alcaraz, I mean, the forearm was kind of concerning. Like the only tournament he played was Madrid, and it wasn't like great by any stretch, you know.
Well, I think the injury for Alcaraz is it's concerning, but like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
But
So
yeah, what price would you
I
need on Alcaraz to hit him at Roland Garros? Like 10, 8 to 1, 7 to 1? And like with Alcaraz, honestly, besides Wimbledon last year, has he really been that good at slams? I
he
think
won the U.S. Open. He did
yeah,
win
but
the U.S.
that
Open. He
that
made the
was
semis at Roland Garros. That's pretty good. I mean, like he didn't play the Australian. Like I don't know, like what are you gonna or he like back in 23? I mean 24 he lost to who's Zverev this year. Like I don't know. What do you
well,
like?
he
What
has
are
a tendency of making matches more complicated than they need to be in slam. Like in slams, it comes back to bite you, and
maybe, but like what are you faulting him for specifically? Like the lost to Zverev at the Australian Open, the lost to Zverev at the U.S. Open, like
not
or
necessarily.
Medvedev.
I'm
Yeah,
not pinpointing one match. I'm just saying, like, I don't think he's been as impressive as people kind of make him out to be in slams. Like that U.S. Open run, we brought it up on many occasions. Like he was just a mental, physical beast, right? Like, but all those matches went 5 sets, so it's not like a super impressive run. Like Wimbledon was unbelievable, right? But like the French, he lost to Zverev in when he was in 22, right? Like that was kind of a bad loss, right? Then he went to Wimbledon. He lost to Sinner in the fourth round. That's not great, right? He won the U.S. Open, but then in 23, I think he didn't play Australia, and then he lost to Djokovic in the semis, right? And then like the U.S. Open wasn't great last year, right? And then lost to Zverev this year. So I don't think the slam performances really give me much confidence, like especially for a guy that hasn't really had good form leading up. Like I would need 7 or 8 to 1 to back him.
yeah, yep, makes sense.
Like 3 to 1 isn't good enough by any stretch. Probably
Yep.
5 to 1 isn't good enough either. So I mean, I think it's a good sign that Djokovic is playing Geneva. Like I think it's showing like it's. I think he has a sense of urgency now, right? Like now he needs matches. You know, you don't think it.
I just don't know if it matters. Like, is it too late? Like, I don't know what tells you that. Like, I mean, like again, what I'm going to go back to is not even the clay court performance. Because actually, like the clay has not been that bad for him. Like he did do well in Monte Carlo, which is an event he usually really struggles in. So like for me, it's more the fact that like the entire year, what would give you real faith in Djokovic? Like beating up Adrian Manarino? Like
Yeah,
what's
it's been a
the
poor year. It's been a poor year for sure.
right? And like at some point, like this is we're in May, and he
Yeah.
hasn't done anything of note yet. Like, we're in May, and he's playing like a top 10, borderline top 20 player. Like, it's like it would be a top 15 player. And we're in May, and he hasn't shown anything above that all year.
Yeah, I mean, he fired Goran, right? And like to me, when he does this, when he like has the staff turnover, that's like a kind of alarm bell signs. Like, I think motivation might be a question mark. I think like his head is not in the right place, when he has that. Because like he cares so much about the people around him and his like daily routine. And when it's altered a little bit, that really messes up with his mind, you know? So like for me, that's always a telltale sign of like where he is in his like tennis, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's obviously not good. Like, I don't even think you need to go there. I think it's maybe even over analysis. Like, I think it's just like it's pretty obvious it's not good. I mean, so let's get into this game idea I had. So here's the
Okay.
game, right? And I think
Sure.
we should make this one of our kind of bets for the French Open.
Okay.
So we'll draft fantasy teams of each. I don't know. Let's say 8 players for now, but we'll see how far we go. But
Okay.
here's the rule: unlike a normal, and we'll go by ATP points. So the rule will be like number of ATP points gained during the slam. So 2,000 for a win, 1,200 for a final, yada yada.
Okay.
But here's the catch: is that for any pick, right? So when you make a pick, I can block it if I want, and then you get to pick again. So if a pick is blocked, then the player just goes off the board and you pick again. But the advantage is like, if I let you take a guy, then I get the next pick, right? So if you make a pick that I don't agree with, then I'll let you take that because I'll want the next guy. But if there's a guy that I like as much as you do, then I would block that.
So give me an example.
So let's say I'm higher on Fritz than you, right?
Okay.
And I take Fritz. You would want to let me take Fritz because there's probably a guy on the board that you like more. So you want to go ahead and snatch that guy up rather than block it and let me pick the next guy.
How many blocks do you have?
As many as you want.
Oh.
But again, like if the guy's not the best player left on the board, you really shouldn't block it because if there's a better guy that you think is left on the board, then you would want to let me take that in order to get the next pick. Right? It's an alternating pick. So like that's the catch. Is because it's an alternating pick. Like if you don't block, then you get the next pick.
Oh, okay. But if you block, then you get to pick again.
Exactly. And the other guy gets to pick again. Exactly. So you only want to block if you really don't want the guy to have that player.
Okay. All right. I like the idea. I like it.
So I'll let you go first.
Okay. All right. Well, the first pick is not necessarily the best here because it's just there's no guy that like you can really trust here. And these are teams for the French Open, right?
Yep. Yeah, teams for the French Open.
All right, let's see here. I'm gonna go with Zverev. As much as I hate it, and I had this discussion with Piranha on our Discord, where he's much higher on Zverev than I am. Like overall, I just think he's the most reliable pick on this board. Because like A, we know he's gonna play. B, like we know he's confident after that Rome title. And like I can't pick the guys ahead of him because I just don't know if Sinner or Alcaraz are even going to play, So I'm going to have to go with Zverev as my number one pick.
So I'll let you have that one.
Okay.
Two big reasons.
Okay.
The first is so I agree with you on this one. And this is like a weird thing. It's really more your take than mine, but like I don't know, man. I don't trust Zverev in semis and finals of slams. Like after that performance against Team at the US Open, I think it's different. Like we talk about how like I trust Zverev in any other event because he's won like 6 Masters. So what's the 7th Masters? Like it's not that big a deal.
Right.
But exactly. I gotta say, I broke out the whiskey for tonight, so it's gonna be an interesting pod. And Manny's got the ultra professional like work shirt, so we have a very different. It might be some very different drafting tonight. We got the professional versus the crazy guy. But But yeah, that's one reason. The other reason, like I said, so so the first reason is that like I don't know, like I said, I don't trust him in that level of event. Second reason is that and it's kind of silly to go here, but his first trial date is scheduled for May 31st, which is the first Friday of the French Open. I'm sure it's not going to prevent him from playing, but it's really interesting.
It is. It is.
Like, and is he gonna? I don't know. He doesn't necessarily have to attend. I don't think he's required by law to attend.
He's not. I heard it on the broadcast today.
Yeah, but I would think he would attend. Like, I don't know, man. Like, if I had a trial, I would attend. So
Yeah.
like, so and like it's not. It's more like just like, if he has to go to the trial, right? Like, it takes time out of his like schedule. It messes with his rhythm, like, and Zverev is pretty mentally tough with that stuff. So I'm not like necessarily super concerned about the mental side, but like if he has to make a trip to Berlin, like in the middle of the French Open, I don't think that's a positive thing for his chances. That combined with like the amount of questions, etc., he's going to receive is going to be like just a PETA, and it's going to be a
distraction. And I hear what you're saying there. I just like if he's in the draw, if he's playing, remember he has a number 4 seed, right? So he's one of the top 4 seeds for this tournament. Like I trust him to make a quarter or a semi more than pretty much any other guy in this draw at the moment. And like once he gets to the quarters or the semis or finals, then it's a different story, right? Because I don't trust him mentally in those spots. But to get to that point, he's pretty much the top guy in this draw, which shows where this draw is at. Like it shows the state of men's tennis.
So I just don't think it's going to be that different. Yeah, I just don't think it's going to be that different. Because I just don't think it's gonna be that different. Like it's like I don't think there's that much of it. So let me say it another way. I don't think there's that much of a gap between him and some of the other top guys.
Okay.
I think I agree with you. He's probably the top guy right now on the pure tennis of it. But I think there's a lot of dudes who are in competition there. And I think with these extra things to worry about, for me, he's not my top guy. So this means that I get because I didn't block, I get an open chance to pick. So my pick is going to be, so you get Zverev. I'm going to take Ruud, man. Like he's a two-time defending finalist. He did win Barcelona. I know the last couple weeks haven't been good, but I'll go ahead and take Ruud. He's a solid clay court. I know he's playing Geneva, but he played Geneva I think the past couple of years. At least he played it in 22, won the title, and then went to and made the finals of the French Open. So I'm not. I don't know. I'm not that worried about him. I don't love the fact that he lost to Mio in Rome. You know what I mean? To be honest, but like, I don't think he's far and away the best pick or anything. But I have to take a player, so that'll be
I think he's more likely to lose early than Zverev, but if Ruud and Zverev play in, say, like a semi, I would much rather have Ruud.
Right, I 100% agree. I 100% agree, Manny. Like I'm 1,000% behind that. I think it's really close, and I think there's those tiebreakers in play for Zverev specifically that I would need to really be behind Zverev more than anybody else to in order to take him first overall. But I get the pick. Like I do think he's the best pure player right now in the draw.
Mm-hmm.
So like I don't think it's a terrible pick. I just yeah. So
okay.
All right. So back to your pick, and I have the ability to block if I want.
Okay, sounds good. It's tough, man. This is not easy. Well, you know what? I know you're not going to block me, so I'm going to take this pick, and it's the greatest of all time, Novak Djokovic.
Okay. I get it. You're absolutely right. I'll let you take it. We've talked enough about Djokovic, so I'm not blocking.
I know,
I
I know.
like,
You're
I'm
not. Yeah,
completely.
exactly.
You can have that one.
It's a slam.
Um,
He has 24 of them, and like, if he's in the draw and he takes it seriously. I mean, I'd rather have him than any other guy, pretty much.
yeah. All righty. This one you can block if you want.
Okay.
My next pick is going to be Tsitsipas.
Okay.
On a clay court tournament, on a moderately slow. I mean, like a lot of it depends on the weather. To be honest, if it's going to be Tsitsipas, I'd much rather it be slower. But I don't know, man. Like, given who else is available to pick right now, I can't think of anybody else better. So I'll go with Steph. And it kind of I'm biting my tongue as I say it because this podcast is not a pro Steph Tsitsipas podcast.
No, it's not.
But I just don't know who else to take.
Ugh.
He did win Monte Carlo. He did do well in Barcelona. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, Ruud and Tsitsipas played 2 finals in a row in 2 big clay court tournaments. So, I hear you. I'm not gonna block you. I don't like what I saw. Like, I don't like that loss to Jarry. Like that's a match you got to come through.
I agree. Like, none of these guys come without flaws. Like, they're all ugly.
No, it's crazy. But I don't know if he plays someone that can pressure that backhand and has a big serve. It's so problematic for him that, like, he's so draw and matchup dependent that I really can't take him. Like, even
I hear you, man.
Djokovic,
I hear you.
Djokovic in this form, I'd rather have him than Tsitsipas. So I'm gonna let you have that one. My next guy. Wow. My next guy might surprise you. But I really like his consistency. I like his mental makeup. And I trust him to be there from start to finish in a match, and that goes a long way. And that's going to be Nico Jarry.
In a non-altitude play event, that's way too early for Nico, I think, to be honest. Like, I get it. Like, I understand the love of Nico, but, like, I don't really know outside of, like, Rome what he's done to... And I get it. Rome is the most similar tournament. But, like, even in Rome, like, I guess he beat Steph. But, like, other than that, his list of wins wasn't that impressive. He lost first round of Madrid, first match of Barcelona, first match of Monte Carlo. I get it, but I can't get behind it based on, I mean, like, there's reason to like Nico. Like, I get, like, mentally, Nico's pretty tough. Like,
He is tough.
I just, I can't get behind it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The problem, like, I want to take Sinner and Alcaraz, but, like, I don't know if they're playing. That's the problem, So if we take him that early, like, we could be wasting a pick.
Yeah. I hear you.
So,
but
it might.
All right. I'm gonna go with a really ultra boring conservative pick here.
Okay.
Claylor.
Jeez. Claylor, are you serious right now? Like, I'd rather have Jarry than Claylor.
I mean, so it's just like in a world like Claylor has no chance of winning the tournament. By the way, like this is an ultra conservative pick, but in the clay tournaments this year, he made he lost the first round of Monte Carlo, but then he made a final, a semi, and a quarter. He should be. I mean, he really should be good. Like, he's honestly playing better on the clay than he ever has been. Even, and he's got a good, he's got a really solid game for even for clay. Like he's got solid ground strokes off of both wings. He can rally with any not so great player. Like he's not winning the tournament, but he should be good for a fourth round appearance and could be good for a quarter. Like I feel like I'm basically taking 180 to 360 points here. But I mean, I'm looking at the rest of the draw. I'm like everybody else comes with massive risks. So yeah, I'll go with Clay. Well,
Yeah.
it's a reach. I completely get it. It's 100% a reach. And the upside is nothing here, but I
I'm
don't know,
not
man.
very confident with Fritz at Roland Garros just because I think he just has a very one-dimensional game, and like in best of 5 that could be exposed. Like on faster surfaces, because he has such good ball striking, I feel like it's less likely to be exposed. But on clay, you know, those things get exposed. Like we saw it against Cerundolo, like I think in Madrid, right? Where it's like Dolo was a way better player in certain parts of that match, right? Where like Fritz had
Yeah.
struggled winning points. He still came through it, but I don't know. I can't against Zverev, like he was like thoroughly outplayed.
Well,
You know,
that's what I'm saying. He has no chance of winning the tournament.
so
Like this is a pick to pick up like a cheap 180 or 360 points because I think he can make a. I think he should really make a fourth round or a quarter. Like he's got the type of game that he tends to beat like guys below him. I feel
okay.
like, and then like it's not going to be easy, but he should be able to beat like weaker players.
He couldn't beat
And
Struff in
then
Munich.
yeah, but Struff is a tough player, right? Like Struff is
Okay.
especially in Munich at home at altitude in like weird weather conditions. Like I don't know, I'm not that upset
Okay.
about that
Well,
and that Musetti, which was a service transition, the only bad losses at all. From other than that, he lost to Rublev and Zverev, which aren't bad losses at all. So
all right. I'm definitely not stealing that one. You can have him. Or blocking. My next pick is gonna be just on pure upside. Like I don't know if he's playing, but if he is and he's healthy, like he should make quarters at the very least, and that's Carlos Alcaraz.
I'm blocking that. At this point, like you have to. Yeah, I'm gonna make you go again. Like at this point, like I'm out of guys who are better. So yeah, I'll block that one.
All right, so that one's yours.
No, it's a block. He just goes off the board.
Oh, he
He
just
just
goes off the
clears.
board, period. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and you get to pick again. That's why it's not like a
Oh,
disadvantage to you, right? It's just like
okay.
yeah.
Cool. Um,
How many guys do we each have, by the way?
we have three each. I have
Okay.
Zverev, Djokovic, Jarry. You have Ruud, Tsitsipas, and Fritz.
These teams are so bad already. Like
uh, so this is a high risk, high reward play. But he's made back-to-back quarters here, and if he finds a good level, he should be successful, and that's Holger Rune. It's hard, like he's been really bad. You don't have to bring up all the bad losses and just like the mental immaturity and all that, but that just from a talent perspective, like I don't know,
yeah, I
like
get it. I get it. I'm
no,
gonna let you have him,
okay,
but I get it. I get it. I think there's yeah. I'll let you have him, but but I get it.
mm-hmm.
So my pick then is gonna be this is the exact opposite of Fritz. I think this guy actually could win this event,
Mm.
but he also could take a zero here.
Okay,
Yannick Sinner.
I'm blocking it.
Okay.
Yeah, just because of like the upside and in case he plays, you
Yeah.
know, he's just better at tennis than all of these guys right now,
Yeah. Yeah.
and yeah.
Um, I'll go with Rublev.
Okay. Um, I'm gonna block him too because like I think he was gonna be my next pick, and like he's Mr. Consistent, but no further upside. Like I'm gonna start calling him Mr. Quarterfinal because it seems like he gets there and then he stops. But like this year might actually be that chance of a breakout because it's so weak, you know? So looking back, I regret not taking him before Yari, but I, I'm gonna have to take him off the board at this point.
Okay. Um, it's so bad now. There's literally nobody left worth taking. All right. Khachanov. Karen Khachanov.
I'll let you have that one.
All right.
Yeah,
I don't like what I've seen out of Khachanov, but I'm just looking down the list and like I just can't find anybody better who's like not
No.
who's still out there. And Khachanov, look, like his game plays really well in slams because he is really
Does.
tough and that matters a lot more in slams.
Yeah.
Um, so but I get it. Like he has not been it's not been pretty this year far. It has not been pretty so far this year at all for Mr. Khachanov.
It hasn't, but yeah, he's just steady. He's always there. And I get the pick. I get the pick for sure. But like if you look at Rune's upside versus Khachanov's upside, it's night and day, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so my next pick, I'm actually surprised you didn't take this guy. But it's gonna be Alejandro Tabilo. That's gonna be my next pick. I just
That's
like
fine.
really liked what I saw from him. Um, I just like I don't think he's the strongest mentally as we saw him go away in the Zverev match, but I just think he's just good at tennis. Like solid on both wings, good firepower. I think an underrated serve, especially with the lefty slider out wide. Um, Fitness doesn't seem to really be an issue. Um, and like we saw him in Miami, we saw him like push Dimitrov. He actually should have won that match, you know. So I'm impressed by him.
Um, I don't really love Tabilo, but like it's such an ugly board, man. Such an ugly board. I gotta think if I should let you have this one or not. This one's tough. I mean, he's definitely one of the better players left that's available. I'll give you that. Like, it's a sneaky long shot pick, but like, there's just not a whole lot available. Um,
I mean, I think actually he's like a guy that could lose first round, but he can also like make a deep run,
yeah,
you
yeah, I
know?
hear you. Like, I absolutely hear you. I'll let you have it.
Okay.
You can have him.
All right.
Um, I can't believe I'm actually taking this dude, but like, I don't know. Like, at some point, he's just like good at tennis, right? And I don't think there's anybody better
Mm-hmm.
left. Medvedev. Like I haven't heard anything on if he's gonna play or not, but like I don't know, man. He's top 5 in the world. Like he's won a clay Masters. I know it's a weird thing that he won it. And it's like it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And like he hasn't
Yeah.
had anything else on clay, and his game doesn't really translate to clay at all. But like I don't know, man. At some point, like he's just a decent tennis player, and he's another guy who's like yeah, he's another guy who's like mentally tough.
Yeah.
Which
He is.
is, good for slams.
It is. Like, I'm gonna let you have him because like I just I don't like him going like 7-5 in a third against Hamad. You know, like that to me that's a
I don't like anything.
I don't like anything
I'm
that
not
he's
like,
done.
I don't love the pick, but it's just like
Like Tommy
at some
Paul
point he
beats you
just
one
falls
and
too far
four.
to be value,
Really?
right? What?
Tommy Paul beats you 1-4. Like really on a clay court? Like
Yeah, I don't love it, but like at some point, like he's, I don't know, like at some point he's value, right? Like he's a top 5 player overall as a tennis player, and like he still is there on the board. So
yeah.
yeah, I'll take him.
Okay. Man, now it gets real tough.
How many guys do we each have?
We have 5 each.
Man, we still have to figure. We still have to fill up. It's
So
a good thing we did 8 though. I feel like eight's a good number
eight's a good number. Eight's a good
because I
number.
feel like the fact that we're still filling out the team is a good thing.
My next guy is gonna be um a guy that I actually think is quite mentally tough, quite physically tough. A guy that should have been Alcaraz in Madrid. He won Munich. It's gonna be Jan-Lennard Struff.
I love the pick. Like I love the style of the pick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna let you have it.
Okay.
But I love the style of the pick. I think that yeah, but I mean I'm looking at it now. Maybe I shouldn't let you have this one. I don't know, man. Oof.
You're not gonna let me have Struff, really?
I might not.
Like,
No,
I
man.
understand
Like
you
I'm
blocking
looking at it
Alcaraz
and
or
like
Rublev. Struff, really? Was like Struff the second coming of like Roger Federer? Like
yeah, he might. I mean, well, no, it's more that like, have you seen the rest of the board, Manny? Have you seen the rest of the board?
yeah.
If I don't, if I block you, I can at least not have to go for another 2 minutes. Like, otherwise, I have to go, and I don't even know if I want to go again. Like he's not even going to be seated though. Like he could end up with a really tough
I
draw.
know. I know.
Like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna let you have him because I
Okay.
don't trust him at non-altitude on non-altitude play.
Okay.
But I like the pick. I honestly like the pick a lot, but I'll let you have it because of the altitude piece.
Okay. Fair. See if this
So
was
I'm
like
going to continue with my theme of best of kind of like so if you look at Struff, like his runs have come at Munich and Madrid, really. Like even in the past 2 years, he's done oddly okay at Monte Carlo, but like nothing special. I mean, I guess he did beat Ruud at Monte Carlo last year.
he should have beat Baez in Monte Carlo, and well, he did beat Baez.
No, he did beat. Well, no, but didn't he come from a set and 2 breaks down?
Set and 2 breaks down, right?
Like, and yeah,
But that's
Baez
what
is
I
just
mean. Like he did that against Alcaraz. Like Alcaraz had 40 love on his serve, serving 5-3, and like he found a way out of it. Like he fights till the bitter end, and like I appreciate that. You know, goes a long way in
I didn't say I
slams.
didn't like the pick.
Yeah, you did.
I
You
said
did.
I'm gonna let you have it. I did not say I didn't like the pick. My pick might be the only pick that I can make this movie worse than your pick just there.
Okay.
Can't believe I'm doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Paul.
Wow.
Like, I know he has not been good on clay in his career, but like he did win a junior title. He's mentally so like he can be mentally so weak at times, but he's just got so much talent.
Yeah. He
Like
does.
my team is basically like the guys who like shouldn't be picked in this spot, but just like fell. Like I basically locked myself into like a team of good tennis players, like guys who are good at the game of tennis, but not necessarily clay court tennis and have like a whole bunch of issues, but are good at the game. It's actually really funny because we've gone with opposite things here. So like you've gotten like the ultimate like kind of clay team for like this event,
Yeah.
and I've gone with like the better tennis players. So it's very interesting to see like the dichotomy, Which is why
It
I thought
is.
this game would be fun, because I thought we'd have some like weird picks that we would each let each other have, because like after the first few, like honestly, even like to start, like the picks are completely weird. It's
It
just
is.
so hard
It is.
to.
It is very weird. Um, Man, it's really tough. I'm gonna let you have Tommy Paul. I can't trust him mentally in best of five
I
tennis.
understand. I understand.
Um,
I'm not sure about best of five with Tommy Paul, because I'm not worried about like the 5 sets being a problem. I think his issue. I'm just like the first time he ends up in a close match, I'll be terrified though.
yeah. It's funny, if this was 2023, I think Fokina would have been your first pick.
Probably. But Fokina has been so awful.
He's
I
been
don't.
so awful. You
He had
can't.
that tooth infection, and then it just seems like it derailed his entire. But
Yeah.
honestly, his whole 2024 hasn't been good yet, though. Like, I'm not sure what Fokina's done at all so far this year.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah, he's won. Fokina is 2-3 on the clay courts. I guess it's not that terrible. He lost, but like it's just the other problems with Fokina is just he goes Foki brain. Like I'm just tired of that.
Yeah, I can't. You can't. In a draft like this, you can't. It's gonna take years off your life.
Yeah.
Um,
Do it, Manny. Do it. Make the pick you know you want to make.
I don't know.
There's a player out there you know
I'm
you want on your
scrolling up
team.
and down the rankings, and like, it's really tough.
There's a player you know you want on your team, and please take him.
My next pick is going to be a guy who has had a good indoor season. And I think he might get some backing from this crowd. I think he's the top ranked French guy in this draw. And I think just on that alone, he might be able to make a squeeze in the third round or fourth round here. And that's going to be Ugo Humbert.
Yeah, I'm blocking that.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, that like I actually think his game plays okay on clay, and like
It
at this
does,
at
yeah.
this point in the draft, like there's nobody better. Like
He's playing Lyon though, so that could be a good thing or a bad thing.
yeah, I don't know. It's Leon's in France. Like maybe he's just getting it. Maybe he's just playing for the home fans. Like, plus I'm not as worried about that. I feel like I don't know, man. I feel like we used to talk of like it sometimes matters, but I don't think it always matters. Like these guys who are playing, it's hard to evaluate these guys who are playing these tournaments. Plus, you never know. Like if it gets really bad, if he has to play like 2 matches in a day or something, he probably just pulls out.
Yeah, that's true. My next pick is going to be a guy who, I mean, physically, he never seems to really be rattled. And he has the best serve in the game. And I think he can squeeze in the third round or fourth round. It's going to be Hubie.
Yeah, you can have that one.
Okay.
I still don't like Hubie on clay. Like he's actually played better on clay on this year than in previous years. And I get it. Like best serve, like at this point in the draft, man, best serve in the game counts for a lot.
It does.
I
actually have guys with really good serves, like Hubie, Struff, Tabilo is an underrated serve, Jarry, Zverev. Like
you do. You have the big serving clay. Honestly, like your team would be incredible if this was altitude. You're just missing like 500 feet of altitude. Like they just need somebody needs to lift some giants needs to come lift all the courts up 500 feet in the air, and then your team's gonna be amazing.
Yeah,
and your team will dominate me.
I mean, Hubie did make quarters of Rome. I mean, the Paul match was really 50-50, I would say.
Yeah.
It's just with that serve, he's hard to put away,
Yeah, but Baez really should have beat him in the round of 16. He was up a set and a break. I mean, Baez just did what Baez does.
Yeah, right, exactly. And Baez is a reason why you can't take him in the draft like
this. It's really the reason why he still hasn't gone yet, because he's so much better than everybody left on the board, but on clay. But nobody
European play against these guys,
he hasn't shown anything. All he's shown is that he can get close and choke.
Yeah.
Even the Monfils match last year at Roland Garros was bad.
I know. He's done it so
So
often.
yeah.
All right, who's your next guy? We got
Uh,
two more.
two more.
I got one more.
All right. Can't take that guy, can I? No. I fit me. Like I just look at all these guys and it's like can't take him, can't take him, can't take him.
Yeah.
Um, this is a guy that I would never, ever, ever want to take in this draft.
Mm-hmm.
But this is another one of those like, and it follows the theme of my team. Like at some point, like he's just like his game isn't that bad on clay, and at some point he's just better than like by quite a bit than everybody else on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Dimitrov.
Okay. Um, you're not wrong. I just think like, didn't he have a health issue in Rome?
Oh, he's terrible for best of five. Like there's nothing. Oh, and he hit the wrist and hand thing. Yeah, I'm like
Yeah.
yeah. There's nothing good about it, but it's just a matter of uh, like it's just everybody else on the board comes with, in my mind, bigger warts.
Okay. I'll let you have it just because he's so unreliable in best of five. Like
He's so unreliable in best of five, man. Like I don't even like the pick
yeah.
myself. Like I could argue against that pick so badly, but like at some point, like is he still in the top 10? Yeah, he's a top 10
He
player and
is.
he hasn't gone yet. Like
Okay. That's fair. Um, so my next pick is probably gonna surprise you.
do it, Manny. Please do it. Do it for the fans. Do it for the fans. There's a guy I want you to take with your last pick. There's a guy I want you to take so bad with your last pick. Do it for the fans, Manny.
It's not Mute.
Ah, no. And that's not. I wasn't thinking you were gonna go Mute, but
Yeah. Um, I'm gonna go with Luciano Darderi
I like it. I love it. I love it.
as my last
I'm
pick.
disappointed that you didn't do the pick I want you to do for the fans.
Uh,
And this proves something, by the way. This proves that something you said was complete bullshit. You
yeah,
said that Mauro Navoni was top 20 on clay, and
I
there's
have
been way
to.
more than 20 players put up, and you did not put him on your
When
team.
you lose 6-1 in a third set in a challenger to a chemistry teacher or like a chemistry student, Nakashima, you're you're off that top 20 list. Like you're banned from that top.
Banished. Banished. I love it. I love it.
So I'm gonna have to go with Darderi, who actually had a good performance in that challenger. He lost in I think did he beat Musetti? No, he lost 7-6, 7-5 in a really, really tough 3-set match to Musetti. Which might actually be your next pick, but I trust Darderi's physical fitness over best of five more than Musetti, actually, and that's the
Yeah,
reason why I'm taking him.
I'll let you take Darderi. I don't think it's a terrible pick. I mean, at this
It,
point, I don't think there are a whole lot of terrible picks
it
left,
was
but
between those two guys. Like though that was it was between Musetti and Darderi for me. And the reason why I went with Darderi is because I trust him more in best of five. I think his fitness is on a slightly higher level than Musetti.
yeah. There's two guys I want to take here left on the board.
Are you blocking Darderi?
No, again, Darderi. I guess because you have nobody else to take, I really should get a free look at the board here.
You
Because
do.
like it'd be unfair if you just kept block. You could block every player in the draw because you have nobody else to take, right?
Right. Yeah, I have no one else to take.
Yeah. So at this point, I should really just get a free pick. Um. bleh.
It's fun when we get these lower rank guys in there because like
Yeah, so far I don't think I've
Just
taken
taking
any
top
lower
10
ranked guys.
players.
I just keep taking the kind of the best available tennis player, but I just don't think that there's too many guys who are lower ranked that like are worth taking. But I thought the Darderi pick was interesting. It was fun. I was really hoping we would take Navoni for the fans. I would have been
Navoni.
so excited to tweet
Oh,
Navoni, but
yeah, I'm self-reflective. I learned
yeah.
from my mistakes. But yeah, I mean, losing to Nakashima 6-1 in the third set. I mean, he kind of looks gassed, to be honest, but I was watching more closely at his matches after I made that statement, and he just like doesn't have any weapons. It just makes it tough in best of five, especially.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Darderi hits slightly bigger off the ground, so he's able to kind of, he has more weapons. So I think in
Yep.
best of five, you need that. So in
I
the
hear
journey,
you. I hear
I would
you.
that, yeah.
All right. My last pick is probably, I guess you could theoretically call it an upside pick. I think
Hmm.
this guy's playing a little better than he than this guy's playing a little better than people maybe are giving him credit for over the past couple weeks, few maybe
Hmm.
months, 6 weeks on the European clay. And he's had decent runs at the French Open before.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go Cerundolo.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, again, it's a matter of just the board's not that pretty, and I think that like Cerundolo's losses on clay this year are Khachanov twice. We just can't seem to get over the hump against.
Yeah.
He lost to him in Miami as well, right?
Hmm.
Um, he lost to Navone 7-5 in the third in Bucharest, and then Fritz. Those aren't terrible losses. I mean, all those guys are top 30 players. Um, they'll all be seeds in the French Open. So I'll go with Cerundolo based on. I don't love the fact that he's playing in Lyon this week, but I think he played Lyon last year, made the final, and then made like the quarters of the French, right? So
That's correct. Yes. No, he made the round of 16, lost the five setter to Rune.
right, yeah, that 9-7 in the fifth, yeah,
Yeah.
that was a weird match, but yeah,
Yeah.
but he's. I don't know. I think he's
So guys that weren't taken, um,
Demon or nobody
Demonor,
took Demon.
no one did. I mean, it's just he's a good pick, but he's a bad pick. Like, you know what I mean?
I just don't
Um,
think his game translates to clay at all. Like he even with the improvements he's made, like he still is playing. He plays up on top of the baseline and tries to like redirect the ball. Like, and it's just hard to do that and be successful.
it's really hard. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like just clay. Clay really like you want to have weapons.
Yeah, my guys have weapons, right? That
Yeah,
was a big thing in my like the guys that I picked. I wanted guys
yeah.
that have weapons.
Demonor, by the way, for what it's worth, and I don't know if it's worth very much, but he's probably my next pick. Like if I had to make
Yeah, I
a
agree.
ninth, like I was between Demonor and Cerundolo for my last pick because Demonor is a really good tennis player.
FAA, I think he needs the altitude. I think he needs like indoors or a shielded stadium,
Yeah,
right? Like
I never even
did not
considered
want to
FAA.
take
Like he
him.
was
No,
never
I
even
would
in my consideration set.
absolutely not. Corda's a complete mess. Etch has actually was not taken. He was a quarterfinalist last year.
But Etch hasn't been good all. I mean, what
It
has Etch
hasn't been
done
good.
this year? What has Etch done since that quarterfinal?
Well,
He
he's
kind
been
of played
in,
a little better on indoor hard at the end of last year, ironically.
yeah.
But then like this
He's
clay
playing
season's
this
been a
week.
mess.
He's playing this week to get a rhythm, I guess.
Well, and he had that hamstring injury, right?
Yeah.
Remember that hamstring injury he had, and then ever since then he seems to be like
But
not the same.
he had a good
So
run in Barcelona.
I
Barcelona
guess he
lost
beat
to
the
Ruud.
chemistry student and he beat Cam Nori in 2 tiebreaks.
Yeah.
Like, but he did take a set off of or he didn't, but it was he played a close match versus Ruud. Yeah, I mean he easily could have gone. He was up there in terms of the guys I was looking at. You know, like he was like if we had to make 2 or 3 more picks each, he probably would end up on my team.
Yeah. Musetti would probably be in that next list.
Yeah,
Um, a guy who I was really pretty close to taking, an honorable mention for my team was Nuno Borges.
yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Nuno Borges. I just don't know if he's
He's
yeah,
a he's a tough out in a slam,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And that goes a long way. So actually, and another pick I was actually like thinking long and hard about is a high high ceiling, low floor kind of pick, and that would be Lorenzo Sonego, who beat Rublev here last year.
Yeah, I just don't think Sonic's done anything yet this year at all. Like Clay,
But does it
hard.
matter with him? I don't think it matters. I think he could come out in the court and just blast winners, or he could just make like 100 errors. Like I don't really look at form with him because he's kind of like spur of the moment. You know?
I certainly look at form less than other guys, but
Yeah.
he lost a set to Mickelson.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
Like he
Yeah.
lost a set to, oh no, he lost to RBA.
Yeah.
Like like it's just been, I don't know what's up with him, but it's been really bad. A guy I thought about that I didn't end up taking because he just hasn't been good the past month or so is Poppy. But I kind of wanted to put Poppy on my team, but it just
Yeah, he
didn't
hasn't
work out.
good enough. How about
Yeah.
Lajovic? Is this Clay
Well,
not
I think is another guy. He was close. Like he was close for me. Like, when yeah, I mean, if I had a few more picks, he would have been on my team for sure. Like, I wasn't anti Lajovic, but yeah.
All right, so my picks are Zverev, Djokovic, Jarry, Rune, Tabilo, Struff, Hurkacz, and Darderi. Your picks are Ruud, Tsitsipas, Fritz, Khachanov, Medvedev, Paul, Dimitrov, and Cerundolo. So, all right, let's
We'll have to post him to Twitter and see what the Twitterverse thinks.
yes, will be interesting. That was a fun
All right.
game. I like the block aspect of it. That was fun.
Yeah, I gotta work out some of the details a little bit more. It seemed like there were some funky details, like I don't know, maybe there's more of a penalty for blocking or something. I gotta figure out what the game is, but I think the blocking aspect was a lot of fun. Like,
That's good. It's good.
yeah. There's also such a good feeling with blocking someone, like blocked. Like,
Nice, nice. So any other takeaways from Rome?
yeah, I was gonna say we probably should just wrap up with any other takeaways from Rome. Um, I mean, obviously we have to talk about the Zhang 250-1 finals to make the final bet that came 2 matches
I
away.
know.
It was
I
so
know.
sad because he actually could have won that match against Tabilo. Like he just laid a complete egg, but that was a winnable match, and it was a very sad, sad run to the end.
I think it was a book error, right? Like,
I don't think so because there were a lot of guys placed at 250-1. Like different books, when you get to those long shots, different books will have wildly different prices. So it's
okay.
something to keep in mind. Like if you're looking at a long shot guy, like if you look at like different books, a lot of times they'll be like 70 versus 2. Like if you're looking at like plus like 50 plus to 1, the books I think forget about they kind of forget about those like long guys. And so
Yeah.
like one book might have a 50 and another book has 100. Like you'll see all kinds of goofy stuff on it. And it's not just Bovada, it's all these books when you get to like those super long shots.
Yeah, they probably just don't know how to calculate it. So, I mean, that was a great price in hindsight.
Yeah, and I think they just yeah, I think it's just a yeah, like I said, I think it was he was the last guy listed on the board.
So
Like because his name is also ZZ, right? So he's gonna be at the bottom. He was the last guy listed. Like,
and when it's 250-1, I mean, like to get that two matches from cashing is just fantastic. Like,
right, and like the other thing too is like the draw was so wide open for him. Like he didn't really do anything special. Like the 3 guys he beat were
beat me.
or 4 guys. He beat you. He beat Ben Shelton on clay, which is nothing special.
Yeah.
Monterino, where he was a 5.5 game favorite, and Galan.
Yeah, I mean it's almost similar to FAA's run to the final, right? Because he beat like Nish in Madrid.
Oh yeah, it's so sad because like all I needed was the walkover
Yeah,
default
exactly.
over retirement, and I would have been good to go. Like,
I know, I know. We got to talk a little bit about Nico Jarry. I mean, I know I took him pretty quickly in that challenge that we just did. But I don't know, I'm impressed by his like mental fortitude and he's a guy that's really benefited from like having a family. Like I think like that's given him like a different purpose in his tennis. You don't think so? Like he just seems like in a really good place, is what I'm
I
saying.
don't know. So I was looking. I hear you. I think there's an element of that. I think maybe it's made him a little better mentally. But he was actually, I mean, I think he cracked the top 50 several years ago. I'm going back to look at like his kind of ranking throughout his career now. But I think he cracked the top 50 a while back, like several years ago.
He did, but then I think he had some injuries.
Yeah, he cracked the top 50 for a week back in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So like actually no, it's not even true. It's longer than a week. He cracked into the 2018 and 2019. He was a solid ATP pro, and then he got injured and missed a full year from 2020 to 2021 and had to build his way back up from the depths of nothing. And obviously, like if you're no Nico Jarry, like nobody's giving you wild cards. Like if you don't, if you don't play well in those first few matches, like you're done.
He's not a serve bot anymore, right? Like he has other tools in his game. Like good forehand, and I think he's really improved his backhand.
Yeah, I think he's a better player. He's playing better tennis than he has ever in his career. I agree. I just think it's a little bit I think it's a little bit remiss to not mention that he did miss an entire year. He basically missed the entire year. Oh no, I guess he did miss the entire year of 2020. That would have been what am I talking about? That would have been the COVID. That would have been the COVID. So I don't think he did. Yeah, that's just a mistake on my part. But yeah, I'm not sure what happened, but he basically lost all his ranking points in 2020. I think maybe due to how they did the ranking points with COVID or something. I'm not sure, but yeah. But he went all the way down to he went all the way from 78 to 1165 in the world.
Wow. Yeah. Just worked his way back up.
Yeah.
Good run. I mean, he beat Paul, and you called that match perfectly. You hit the Jarry 2-1, right? At plus 350.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was a great hit. And
I mean, again, I put Paul on my team, but he is not trustworthy in clutch moments.
No, he's not. He's not. But from a talent perspective, he's way better than
From a talent perspective, he's top 10 on the tour, I think.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, just that backhand pass that he hit against Jarry, I don't think there are 5 guys in the world that can hit that ball.
Oh no. I mean, his athleticism and his ability to hit on the run is incredible. Yeah. And it's why Alcaraz the one match he beat him. It's because when he's on fire,
I know. Truly. Who else do we have to touch on? You beat Paul. I mean, we talked a little bit about the Tsitsipas Jarry match. You hit the over there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hit the Tsitsipas minus 3.5. I just thought if he got Jarry on the move, I thought he would be, sitting pretty in that match. I also hit the Tsitsipas to win 6-3, 6 and 6-4 in each set in that match at 6-1. He won the first set 6-3, but
yeah. Well, and he had his chances, I think, early on in the second. I think he had his chances
really?
to go up the break in the second. So that wasn't that far away from hitting. Jarry just, he just hung in there. Tsitsipas started to make some pretty bad errors, to be honest. Tsitsipas didn't play great in that match. Yeah, I mean, Tsitsipas isn't again, we're talking about these guys, and there's just nobody who's that exciting to pick. There's a lot of people backing Zverev right now, but man, I don't trust that guy. Not at a favorite price. If he was sitting at his normal 25, normally for Sam's when everybody's healthy, sitting at 25, 30 to 1. And I think then he's actually a pretty good pick. But in my mind, he's a guy who's a way worse pick at even if guys are hurt, he's a way worse pick as a favorite pick than he is as a semi-long shot.
In this tournament, I would need 12 or 13 to 1 to hit him. I don't think I'm gonna get that, but
yeah, I think he's down to 6 right now, if I remember right.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, no way. Jose.
Yeah, I just don't think I think it's I said, because Zverev also does have the ability to beat anybody. He's a good guy as a semi-long shot pick because he has everything physically to win a slam.
I think he's
missing nothing.
His forehand is a little bit iffy in key moments, right? He gets
I think his forehand's a little bit iffy in general, but his backhand's the best in the game.
Yeah, it is. And his first serve is really good too. And if he's
the thing I'm going to talk about with this with what I really really love what Zverev's done. I think it's really brilliant, and it's something that I haven't seen a whole lot of talk about.
Mm-hmm.
But he regularly makes 70 to 75% of first serves.
The commentators think he redlines, but like he doesn't. I think it's like a 80% first serve.
It doesn't. It's a strategic. Like at this point, it's a strategic choice for him. Like if you're making 70% of your serves all the time,
yeah,
like it's not redlining anymore.
yeah.
Like I'm trying to look up what is his
season average.
Yeah, his first serve in percentage this year so far is 74% across 37 matches. And last year he was at 70% across 82 matches. And that includes like when he was struggling coming back from the injury.
It's pretty damn high.
And his ace percentage isn't that high. It's at like 10, which is like good, but it's not amazing.
Right.
Like at this point, it's a strategic choice for him, I'm convinced. Where he's like, you know what, my second serve isn't good. So I'm gonna make sure I make my first serve. Plus, like, he has a great backhand. His forehand's not good, but it's like
good enough.
But the backhand's amazing. So like, why? And he's a great athlete. Like, why would you be afraid to play points?
And he's gotten better at net too.
He's gotten a lot better at net. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to give credit to Zverev for like it sucks. It sucks that personality wise he offers nothing.
Right.
Because like,
well, he better offer something in the courtroom.
Because like, man, like when we talk about tennis players, like he's the kind of guy I want to like get behind.
Yeah, I know.
Like he's done so much work. I feel like he's done work to him, like, and it's cool because he's done the work silently to improve his game in a way that like people don't like. I feel like he doesn't get respect for like how much better he's gotten.
I mean, it's the off the court sport, and he's just not a likable dude, right? So he's not going to get backing from fans and stuff, and you know,
but even the tennis industry and the comments, I think they're afraid. I think like there's this weird thing where like everybody's afraid to talk about Zverev because if you start talking about him, like then like somebody's like,
yeah, you're supporting.
Oh, you're supporting a woman abuser, like
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of fear with that, but like he doesn't do himself any favors. You know?
No, because it's not just the allegations. Like it's also the fact like he's just
also the Acapulco incident, you know, like stuff like that. It's just like when
I've never really like felt like I've seen a whole lot of remorse from him.
No. And he
like I don't remember him being like, oh man, guys, like I really shouldn't have done that Acapulco incident. Like that was a bad idea.
No.
Like,
and when has he ever like clapped for a opponent good shot? Like he never does that. You know,
there's also Medvedev playing unfair, which is one of the most hilarious.
He's such a whiner too.
Like, what?
He's such a whiner. Like,
yeah,
the ball hits the line, he starts whining. Like, and it's not like manly whining. It's like bitchy whining.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah. It's just like it's so hard to back him in any way. You know, off the court, on the court, just like his face. I don't know. I have a bet with Piranha about him like not winning a slam, and it might not be the smartest bet, but like just from a rooting perspective, I just had to chime in there. You know, like, do you think he wins a slam in his career? Like, if you had to put it at even money.
It's close. Like, I think it's a well set line. Like, so what I was gonna say about that particular bet is like, because I was reading the Discord, like, I don't think like I'd be very surprised if too much came out of the trial. Like, because I think the ATP already like said they wrapped up their investigation and like didn't find anything. I mean,
that could be just a cover up, though.
What?
That could be just to save their face, you know.
But so they're going to suspend him then if he's found guilty in the trial. Maybe they will. I mean, I don't know. But like, and from what I read, I don't think he's going to get jail time. Like, I feel like the most common thing seemed to be like, even if he loses, he'll just get a fine. So,
okay, all right,
yeah. So I don't think that, but like. I do agree with you on the mental piece. Like, I know you and Toronto went back and forth. I don't know, man. Every time that we've seen him, not every time, but like in a slam, like he's been fine mentally in like in any other event but a slam. But in slams,
He's 3-15 against top 10 players in slams. Like that's not good.
the only problem is part of what that tells you that he's not as good as Nadal, Djokovic, Murray, or Federer all time, which is like kind of a known thing, right? Like how much
Okay.
of that 3-18 is those four guys?
Let me see. There's definitely some of it.
So I feel like he's done okay versus Alcaraz when he's played all.
Medvedev, yeah, he's won 2 against Alcaraz. Those are 2 of the wins, and it's 1 against Sinner at the U.S. Open, and that's it in his career.
Yeah.
There's 1 against Murray. There are a couple against Team. There's 1 against Raonic. There's like 3 or 4 against Djokovic.
I mean, like I said, the team at the U.S.
Tsitsipas,
Open was ugly. Like, there's no other way to put that one. The team at the U.S. Open was just bad.
that
Like,
was
there's
ugly.
nothing.
Yeah. But then there were other instances against Team, like at the Australian Open, there was he lost in the 4th set breaker, and the Medvedev loss this year, like you got to put that to mental weakness. Like that was a choke
I
job.
think so. Yeah. Yeah.
That was a choke job.
Yeah.
And you can't cite fatigue because Medvedev was probably more fatigued after a 5-setter with Hubie, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna give him the benefit of the doubt there. The Ruud loss was just pathetic last year at the French. Tsitsipas at Roland Garros, he lost in 5 and 21. You know, that's after
That's okay. Like, that's not ideal, but it's okay. Like, but I get it. Like, there's been a lot of times when he's been deep. Like, he's been in the deep waters many times and not come through. Like,
Mhm.
he is, oh, and wow, this isn't, no, he's 1-6 against the top 10, 1-7 against the top 10 all time in 5th sets.
Wow. Yeah, I mean that shows something, right? It shows that he's missing that little edge, right?
Yeah, I gotta think so, man. Like, I gotta think, like, 1-7 is really bad. And I get it. Like, part of that is the fact, like, some of those losses, one of those losses is Nadal. Um,
One was to Djokovic at the US Open.
yeah. Like, there's been some, I mean, like, some of them aren't that bad, but maybe he's only 1-6 now that I'm looking at it. Maybe he's only 1-6. I might have misread it. No, looks like 1-7. No, maybe only 1-6. Still 1-6. It's not that different. 1-6 is pretty bad too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I certainly don't trust him late in the slam. Like,
Yeah.
even the one slam he made a final of, he beat Booster from 2 sets down.
I know. Even this tournament, like against Tabilo, like I felt like there was a mental block coming out of the gates there with him, and he needed Tabilo to fold to really like get his teeth into that match, and he got through it, but like I think there was a weight of expectation on him, and whenever he feels that, that's when he freezes up a little bit mentally. That's why he plays down to the level of the competition. That's why like he makes matches more complicated than they should be. Like he has that tendency. He's been a little better of it lately, but I don't know. Mentally, I can't trust the guy.
Yeah, I mean, I can trust the guy mentally somewhat anywhere but a slam. To me, a slam is just like, no, thank you. Like,
Versus a top 10 guy.
yeah, to win a slam, no, thank you. Like, to win a quarter of a slam, fine. But
Right.
to win a slam outright, like, no, thank you.
Yeah, I agree.
That's probably enough Zverev talk.
Yeah.
Anybody else to discuss? Moore made a nice run, and he won a bet for
Yeah,
you today.
more. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you and
I
I were on opposite ends of that. You were right, I was wrong.
which one?
I hit the gas game money line.
Oh yeah. Yep. I laid the 3 games with
Yeah, I went by 4, so you were right.
Yeah. I mean, I was a little bit lucky because it was 4, I think it was 4 all in the second. and then he got the break and
Yeah.
then held serve. So a little bit lucky, but Muller's been really good. I mean, I have a futures play with him in Lyon.
Yeah, me too. You and I
So
probably have the same play.
probably. Rublev was just gassed though, right? Like after he won that first set against Muller, like he was just. I think
I also think you have to keep in mind too that he was coming off of like, I don't know, man. Again, I don't know how sick he was, but like I don't know if you'll agree with this or not. But like as a tennis player, I feel like a lot of times I'm actually okay playing when sick, but then like during the recovery period from the sickness, I actually play worse. I don't know if you've experienced that or not. Like this will be an interesting little conversation
usually
about
if
our
I'm
tennis play.
sick, like playing tennis is like one of the last things on my mind, like
When you're recovering from being sick, or when you are sick.
both.
Either? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's why you're a pharmacist, right? You're a smarter man than I am when it comes to medical.
Yeah, I'm just not gonna play. Like if I'm feeling under the weather, it's just like
Yeah,
why?
I think that's
Why put
probably the
myself
right
through
thing to
that?
do.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm still, even though I'm 35 years old, I'm still too dumb when it comes to that. So I definitely play way too often when I'm slightly under the weather. And
Yeah.
yeah, I've definitely found that I found that I play okay when I'm like slightly under the weather, or even it's like somewhat under the weather. But
Uh-huh.
then if I'm like recovering from being under the weather, like a couple of days after, I'm just absolutely terrible.
Terrible.
So it's very interesting. It's very weird. So maybe that was happening there. Like, I just think there's like a level. I guess there's like a level of being run down. Man, I got COVID like beginning of one of the years, 22 or 23,
Mhm.
and like for 3 weeks I couldn't play well.
Yeah.
Like I only felt like the horrible symptoms of COVID for like a week, but like the next 2 or 3 weeks I just could not play like effectively. I couldn't run like properly to play effective tennis. I was just like gassed. Like it was sad. So yeah.
Tennis is weird in that way. Like sometimes I don't know if the pros feel it, but like sometimes I don't touch a racket for like 3 weeks and then I come out and play great. And then sometimes I like play every day and just play like absolute dog crap. Like I don't know if the pros feel that too. Probably not. I don't know if that's just coincidence,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a weird sport. And like there's something to be said about like just surviving and advancing and then like a new day is a new match and it's a new thing, right? Like, but because like I feel like we can, especially when betting this sport, we can like overweigh previous results, right?
Yep. For
You have
sure.
to go by that, but like it's not all in that, you know? So I think that there's a challenge in that. Like today with the Pedro Martinez fees match, like the numbers favored Martinez in every way. But like Fees is the more talented player and he came out on fire. The crowd was on his side and he just blew Martinez away, So it's tough. It's tough. So,
Yeah.
all right. I think we should take a quick break and then move on
I
to
completely
preview.
agree. I think we're ready to get into some Lyon and some Geneva.
Yes. All right, we'll be right back.
Yep.
All right, welcome back to the show, everyone. So this is part two, where we're gonna talk Geneva and Lyon, these 250s. We finally get like consistent action,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like it's nice. It's like
For
matches
real.
all day, every day. But where do you want to start?
We can start in Lyon, I suppose.
Lyon? All right, sounds good.
Yeah, so quick, tournament preview, I guess.
Yeah.
Lyon, French tournament. This is actually the last year it's being played. It's going off the calendar next year, from what I
Oh,
heard.
really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's only been played for like 5 or 6 years now. Um, Looking up right now. But yeah. So the Manny, you remember Lyon last year?
Yep.
You
50 to 1.
cashed a 50-1 ticket on Arthur Fils.
Yes, that was nice. That was nice.
Um,
That was the tournament you needed, what, 51 to 1 to
yeah, I was like, I'm not taking anything less than 52-1. Yeah. So
Yeah.
sad times. Yeah, that was kind of like the hype, but it did cost you a dinner because afterwards you proclaimed the piece would be top 10 by end of the year, by end of this year.
I know that's not happening. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's winning challenger titles, but unfortunately that's not good enough to make top 10.
But otherwise, if you go back, so other guys who have won this event, teams won this event, Tsonga, Tsitsipas, Nori, so like pretty good winners. I don't know, Manny, in terms of like court, I would say this court plays pretty similar to Roland Garros again, kind of like Rome. There's a little bit of altitude. There's like 150 meters of altitude or so. But I think it plays like, maybe a little more, maybe like 200 meters ish, 250 meters, 800 feet. Like, it's not a ton though. It certainly isn't nearly as much as like Geneva or some of the other tournaments that are considered like altitude tournaments.
Yeah. I would
yeah.
say a little bit quicker than Roland Garros.
Okay, maybe a little bit. But
Yeah.
I think it's pretty similar. Yeah, I don't know. Again, like I said, it's pretty much like an average play tournament. Not a whole lot to say about conditions. Not a whole lot to say about over unders. Yeah. So with that, we can get in the draw.
Okay. Sounds good. So Ugo Humbert is the number 1 seed. You have to block him.
Yeah.
He'll play the winner of Kopfer and Nakashima. Then we got Seaboth Wilch will play Pedro Martinez, and he'll play the winner. He'll play the winner of between a qualifier and Tomas Martin Echeverry. That's the first quarter. Anything stick out there?
Very interesting quarter.
I think so too. I think it's a good quarter.
I took Humbert at plus 185 to win the quarter.
Not good enough for me.
I understand it. I don't think it's an amazing price. Like the way I see it is he's got to win 2 matches. I don't think he's that bad. I think his game plays okay on the clay Humbert. He's at home. I'm not that worried about motivation again because it's only 2 matches. I'm not worried about the weather. Oh, that's the thing you mentioned. The weather. The weather is very weird here this week. It's like every day is like a 50 to 60% chance of rain.
Okay.
So I think there'll be like some rain here and there, but
that'll make it slower though.
What?
That
will make it slower. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I don't necessarily like the rain for Echeverry. I think he would prefer a quicker right court where that forehand kind of jumps off the court more. Would you agree with that? I think Seaboth Welch is a very like dangerous customer. Like he's mentally all over the place, but like he has the talent to beat anyone.
I just don't know if he'll be that interested in a 250. He seems to get more interested in like
That's
tournaments
true
that
too.
offer 1,000 or more points. Like
that's true too. Yeah. And Pedro is always interested, so I actually don't mind that plus 650.
I just don't think Pedro. I mean, like, I don't know, man. Like, my feeling on Pedro, he's a coin flip every match.
Kind of, yeah.
You know, like he's like, because like he's not particularly good. He's not particularly bad. He plays Vilch, and the problem is like, I think his draw. He plays Vilch, Echeverry, and either Nakashima or Yugo. I don't know if he's a favorite. Like, maybe he's a favorite against Seaboth Vilch, but then he's definitely a dog against Echeverry. And the qualifier Echeverry plays is not particularly good. It's not it's a challenger level guy, so Echeverry should win that.
The thing with Pedro, like I was gonna hit that plus 650, but when I saw how much tennis he's played recently, that caused me to lay off.
He's played a lot of tennis. Yeah,
he played a lot of tennis, and he made the final of that challenger in Bordeaux. But that was a tough week because like there was also a lot of rain in Bordeaux. So I think there was a day he had to play 2 matches in one day. So yeah, it's not a spot I want to necessarily back.
Well, and that's kind of where I ended up with. That's kind of how I ended up with Humbert, is because like, I mean, he should be Kofor and Nakashima, right? Like I guess Nakashima's maybe kind of scary,
But
but he really should beat Nakashima.
if you're backing him to win the quarter, wouldn't you just back him to win the title?
Not so much because I think that so Cerundolo's around there, right? Cerundolo's around, and Cerundolo I think is a better play quarter than Humbert. And then the second thing is that
Yeah, but there's no guarantee Cerundolo makes it. Like
I
he could.
also really love especially with the rain early in the week. I love these guys that only have to play 2 matches, right? Like he only having to get 2 wins. I think is like a really nice thing here, and I'd rather take the shorter price and have to bet on 2 wins. I'm just nervous that I don't know, man. Like with the rain in the forecast and such, like if this tournament gets backed up, like then I'd be a little worried about motivation levels and such. Like for an outright pick here, I'd rather pick somebody who's a little more of a long shot. But as a quarters, I don't mind picking these favorites. But like I said, like if they only have to win 2 matches, they're gonna be the favorite in both. Like how bad can it be?
Okay, I hear you. That plus 185 is just too short because I think he's in the toughest quarter by far and away
I
the toughest.
100% agree. But
It's only 2 matches, but like Nakashima, the chemistry student has been decent. These guys like Edge, Seaboth, Welch, Mate Pedro, like they're all decent clay quarters.
it's a tough quarter. It is a tough quarter.
Tough
I
quarter.
would not take this at like a plus 150. Like for me, this is pretty close to my minimum buy point, to be honest. Like it may not even be a great pick the more I think about it. Like it's just but I just man, like he should win two. He should be able to win
He
two
should
matches
win two
here.
matches. He should. But also, like the draw of Roland Garros comes out Thursday, right? If he's on that one of the halves that could potentially play Sunday, that could like factor into his brain and like I don't know.
Maybe,
I
maybe, but I doubt he would ever play Sunday. I'm sure. I'm sure if he makes. Didn't somebody make the final last year, and they pushed him back to Tuesday? I think
Yeah,
they
I think it
did.
was Feast.
I think when Fees made the final, they pushed him back to Tuesday. So I
Or he
think
played
if you make
Monday
the final
night.
here, you get a Tuesday start. So I'm
Okay.
not too worried about that piece of it. I think that'll be okay.
Okay.
But again, like that's another reason, right? Like what you really don't want here is for some reason the final get to push back to Sunday, or guys have to play twice in a day. Then you might see some of these guys start
Mm-hmm.
doing some goofy things, which again is why I like get him his 2 wins and get him out of there by Thursday, or cash that bet by Thursday. Cash that bet on Thursday before or before as the draw is being released, and don't worry about the semis and finals.
Is Ugo still prioritizing 250s in your mind? Is he like still at that stage in his career where he's like, oh, this 250 means something to me? Or you think he's like thinking about bigger and better things?
I don't know because what run has he made at a Masters or a Slams that indicates that he's there to think about to become like a
Dubai?
Masters/Slams player?
Dubai?
That's a 500.
Yeah, I guess, but like I think the fact that it's in his home country, I think that adds something to it. But like if this
Yeah, if
was
it wasn't in
like
his home country, I
Eastbourne or
wouldn't
something,
take it. I 100% agree, and that's
yeah.
for me, it's like a tiebreak. I think it's an okay price. Like I don't think it's a great price. I get it. Like I wouldn't take it at plus 150. Like probably my minimum buy point here is like 165, 170. Um, it's for me, it's just good enough for me to take it.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the next quarter. We got Adrian Manarino, who's been terrible on clay. He'll play the winner of Darderi and a qualifier. Then we got Dan Evans, who's been atrocious. He'll play Arthur Rinderknecht. And then Wame Munar and Francis Tiafo, who's also been atrocious. So I really like Munar here. I agree with the tidbits on their pod with MP9. I just think like there's some altitude here. Tiafoe's a great draw for him. That's going to be one of my plays of the day tomorrow. I wonder if you're on board with that. We'll get into that match later. But then like Evans and Rinderknecht, I think that Munar can wear both of those guys down. Darderi, I like him as I picked him on my team, but like I just think he's played a lot of tennis recently. And I think this might be he might actually not even play or just play one match and then say, I'm going to Roland Garros. And then obviously Monterino, you can't trust on clay. So I really,
I don't think Darderi will do that. I don't think you're going to see him like. I mean, so we talked about Humbert before. He's definitely not at the point yet where he can afford to do that.
no, that's true. But at plus 225, like that's not a good enough price for him to win a quarter.
I agree with you. I think it's like, yeah, I was close to Munar. I was close on Munar. I was close on Munar. I'll put it that way.
What price?
The problem here in my mind is like, I don't think TFO is going to show up.
No,
but like, not even good TFO, but even like the TFO that has shown up this year at times, like
far between.
The times that TFO has shown up this year, even that is better than anybody else in this quarter. I'm not picking him. I am not picking TFO. Right. I don't think this is a good tournament to pick TFO. But my point is, it's enough of a wild card for me to scare me off of anybody else here. To me, this is a no play. I was close on Darderi, but I agree with you. It's a lot of tennis he's played. I was close on Munar as well, but I was really hoping Munar would be a bigger price. But second favorite is probably right, to be honest. Like I was really hoping that the books would flip him in TFO just based on like TFO's ranking and based on TFO's career accomplishments, etc. Because if Munar was out there at TFO's price of 450, I'd be all over it.
It's crazy how far Dan Evans has fallen. The fact that he's like the last pick on this board in this quarter.
But Dan Evans has been absolutely the thing is like Evans is scary too, because like I don't know, man, like just on pure talent, like he could win this quarter. Mm-hmm. Like his quarter is pretty wide open, honestly. Like anybody but probably the two Frenchmen could win this quarter. Maybe not Tower either. Tower's pretty unlikely. So. But Evans has the talent, but I just don't
I would prefer taking Evans to win the quarter over Rinderknecht, for example. But in that individual matchup, I'd rather take Rinderknecht. If you know what I mean.
I hear you on that. Yeah. Because Evans, like, there's more upside, right? Like, if this is a random Dan Evans week, then like maybe he does it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. For
me, this is a no play, but I understand the Munar play. I just, like I said, I was really hoping to get Munar at a better price, but 325 is not good enough. I was hoping for at least 4-1. 4-1 was my minimum buy point on Munar. Okay. And like Darderi's not a bad pick either.
It's just too much tennis.
Yeah, I agree.
There's just too much tennis. He's played a lot, so I don't know.
But I'm impressed by the fact that the market actually got him as the favorite, because I think he's the right favorite for this quarter. Like, would you favor Munar over?
It's close. It's close. I wouldn't put it this close. Like Munar, my buy point was plus 300, which is why I took it. And Darderi, I feel like should be like, with the amount of tennis he's played, he should be like plus 270 or 275 kind of thing.
Okay. All right.
So, but I think they're close. They're close. So, all right. And then moving on to the next quarter here, the bottom half of the draw, we got Monfils against Yoshi Nishioka. Apechi Pericard will play Lorenzo Sonego. Then we got two qualifiers. Have those qualifiers been placed?
I do think so. Yes.
Okay.
I can't remember who they are, but I think I have the printout of the draw up. I think they have been placed. It's Gaston and Galan. Actually, two decent qualifiers.
Yeah, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. Let me see. Yeah, Gaston and Galan. And I'll play Cerundolo. As far as quarter prices here, we got Cerundolo at plus 140, Monfils at plus 400, Sonego at plus 550, Gaston at plus 600, Galan at plus 800, Pericard at plus 900, Yoshi at 12-1. So my play here is might actually surprise you, but I think he can serve his way through this quarter, and that's going to be Pericard at 9-1. He's been surprisingly good in these challengers, man. I know it's going to make you cringe because it's a complete serve bot, but like look at his results in these challengers. Like, yes, it's been somewhat hard, but then he made the quarterfinal in Bordeaux, beating Shevchenko, beating Lestienne.
And losing to Barrera.
Yeah, lost to Barrera twice. But Barrera's been better as of late. But 9-1 in this quarter?
The problem is, like, I get it. He's in a good part of the draw. I just don't think 9-1 is good enough because, like, there's a really good chance he ends up against Cerundolo, and Cerundolo should squish him. Like, Cerundolo only has to win one match to get to that point, and Cerundolo should squish him.
But Cerundolo could also lose to Gaston or Galan. Like,
I don't think it's very likely. I'm a little higher on Cerundolo. Like, he could, but I think there's probably like a 25-30% chance. And even then, like, is Pericard a favorite in any of these matches? I don't think so. And so if you just take 3 coin flips, that's 1 out of 8. And I know you're getting so that's 7-1. I know you're getting 9-1, but like it's not, for me, it's not that much better given that there's a pretty good. I mean, there's definitely the majority of the time he gets in that quarter final, he's against Cerundolo, and Cerundolo should squish him.
But that's a matchup where it could, like Pericard could force a tiebreak here and there, and it becomes 50-50. So I would like my chances there in a, and
you
Dolo,
like your chances?
Well, I'm just saying that, like, if Pericard can serve his way to a breaker, like, that will put pressure on Cerundolo. Like, I think... I don't know. There's a little bit of altitude here. The rain in the forecast does scare me. But, I mean, the more you talk about this with me, I think I'm just going to do the rollover. Just because I kind of want to see how he turns up. But, like, he's the guy I'm kind of targeting in this quarter here, Pericard. Big serve, big forehand, French guy.
I've seen Pericard play a few times. I know what Pericard is. I don't like. He's a guy who I was hoping to back, but I just don't think 9-1's that good of a price. Like, given that Cerundolo, like, my issue here is like, really, Cerundolo should win this quarter, and I might end up backing him. I'm close to backing Cerundolo because, like, again, it's 2 matches. I know it's not a great price, but it's 2 matches, and like, he is way better than anybody else in this quarter. There's nobody else in this quarter who's competitive with him.
I don't like backing Cerundolo in futures markets, like, because he could be really good, like he has the talent, but he can also just be a mental head case as well.
Wait, when does he be in a mental head case outside of the beginning of this year?
It does feel like he has trouble putting away matches.
Especially on clay. Like, his clay runs last year were fine. I guess he lost 1 to Khachanov at altitude, but Khachanov had a great week that week. Like, I don't know, man. I don't think he's particularly bad.
End of last year was pretty bad. Let me look at last year's clay run.
Like, he's not good on hard. Like, so like, you can't. For me, it's only he's only valuable on clay. I don't know, man. Like, what are those losses? Like, when has he really had a bad loss on clay?
Yeah, maybe I'm just like overthinking how bad he was at the beginning of the year. Like if you really think he's like fully over that spell, then I hear you. But that just like it still weighs in my mind.
Yeah, I mean that's what it comes down to, right? Like that's literally like then that is the reason. Like if I'm gonna back him, that would be the reason I would back him would be to fade that take. Right? Would be to
Okay.
say that the beginning of this year is not a problem. Like he's over it, he's good to go.
Okay.
And that's why you would back it. But
Okay. I just think a big server with a home crowd on his side. I don't know. I think Pericard is live here in this quarter. So I'm gonna
I
do the
just don't know, like, where is he the
roll.
favorite? Like, against which of these guys is he favored?
He's not, but that's the point in taking a long shot. A long shot is not.
No, but it's just like one like if it was like 14, 13 to 1, we can start talking. But like 3 coin flips is 8 to 1. I think like if you just do the math on it, like I'm just gonna do some math real quickly.
So he's plus 140, I think, against Sonego.
In
And
which
then
case, you'd way rather roll it over. So if he's zero, if he's a 45% chance of winning each match, right, which is plus 125.
mhm.
If you think his average chance of winning a match in these 3 matches is 45%, then the right price on him would be 10 to 1. So is
Okay.
his average chance of winning each match higher or lower than 45%? Or not even like really like 46 or 47%? I think it's lower. The book's already telling you it's like 40 against Sonego.
40
The
and
market
Sonego,
is.
it's probably going to be. I mean, if he plays Monfils, he's probably going to be a pretty sizable dog, even though Monfils has been terrible on clay this year.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, like him versus Yoshi on clay, I guess is interesting. Like it's not so much that I don't think that like I hear you. Like I hear you. I just don't. I really don't think that 9 to 1 is a great price on a guy who he's going to be a dog 3 times. Like you're better off just rolling over.
Okay, I'll roll it over. He'll be
Yeah,
my rollover candidate this week.
yeah. I think he's a good rollover candidate.
Okay,
That I can get behind.
sounds good. And then the bottom half of the draw here, or the bottom quarter, got the lucky loser against Pavel Kotov. This was Mariana Navoni, my guy in
Wait,
this
Navoni got a
spot.
lucky loser?
No, Navoni withdrew. So
Oh, right,
I
right. I was
put a
gonna
lucky
say.
loser there to play
Okay.
Pavel Kotov. Muller beat Gasquet, so he's in the next round already.
Have
Vukic,
they announced that lucky loser yet? I'm amazed they haven't
I
announced
don't
that
think
lucky
they
loser yet.
have. They
What?
haven't. They haven't. I don't think
Yeah.
so. Vukic beat McDonald easily 2-2. That's a kind of surprising result. And then he'll play Bublik.
Yeah.
So I have a very clear play in this quarter, and that is Muller to win the quarter.
At 225, I have the same play.
All right, is that GBM worthy?
Is it to you?
Um, with the way I saw him play today, yes. Like, I don't think he should be on equal playing field as Kotov. Like, I think he should be a sizable favorite over Kotov.
So that's interesting. Because I actually think him versus Kotov is a complete coin flip. The only reason why I prefer Muller's, like, it's the same price, and Kotov does have to win a match to get there. Like, I'm not saying it's particularly likely, but it's possible he could lose that match.
It is. Kotov could lose to anyone.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean the fact that Muller played has one less match to play, and they're still priced the same. I think that gives value to Muller. So
Yeah, I mean,
for
and
me, it
you just
is.
have no idea what Bublik is going to show up.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know, Muller's won a match, so it's only 2 matches he's got to win. Yeah, I'm on Muller also. Like, I'm also on him. We could GBM him if you want.
okay.
It's a tough pick because like the problem is like
I like the way he's playing though. He's playing really
I do
well.
too. The problem is like if Bublik shows up, like if Bublik wants this quarter, it's his.
True.
But there's no indication to that. There's nothing that says he would want this quarter.
Yeah, it's a week before a slam. with
Plus, if there's any rain, like
rain
if
in
there's
the
any
forecast,
rain
yeah,
here,
forget it.
like
And Muller's gonna, he's French, right? He's gonna compete here. Like
it's not only that, but like Muller's a guy who like he's not a real threat at the French Open. Like the
no,
first
he's
time he sees
not.
a top 20 player, he's gonna go hide. He's gonna go hide and like hide under his chair and lose 4-2 like he did to Sinner last year. Like,
So do you prefer him to win the quarter or for him to win outright at
oh
69?
no, the quarter. Because the problem is like, again, he's another guy that like if he plays these other guys, he just gets crunched. Like he's just not that good, Muller. Like,
I mean, he did beat Rublev in Rome. First top 10 win.
first top 10 win. A sick Rublev. Or recovering Rublev, whatever you want to say. But yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel like
I'm on Rublev. I prefer the quarter here over the event.
okay,
Like,
okay.
plus again, like, and then maybe this goes in favor of Muller, but like, this could become a complete mess. I mean, I don't know about the rain. I don't know what's going to happen with that, right? But like, and I guess the problem, it's actually the problem is the other way. Like, you don't know what's going to happen with that, and like, I don't know, man. Like, if Cerundolo and Humbert like make it, and the weather's not that much of a problem, like, they're just so much better. Like, I just don't think Muller can beat like better players to win this event. I know he beat Rublev just recently, but like, I don't know.
I don't know. I like the way he's playing. I think the altitude is going to help him a little bit, get some extra
I mean, there's just not much
height on the
altitude here.
ball.
Like, I'm really not. I'm trying to avoid considering that too much at all. Like, 150 meters, it's not Geneva. It's a pretty or whatever. A couple hundred meters is not a huge deal. It's like it's a little bit, but it's like more of a tiebreaker than it is like I wouldn't consider this a high altitude court by any means.
All right, for me, it's like a unit and a half play, not a full 2-unit play, but like, I like it. I like it. The fact that he's same price as Kotov, I think like that gives Muller value.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a little value on Muller.
Yeah. All right. As far as individual matches here, let's see. Look at all these matches. Holy
Yeah, 64 round one matches for the French Open qualies.
no,
It's insane.
it's crazy. There's so many matches. I can't even find the Lyon matches.
Show more. Eventually, we'll get to
Women.
50 women's matches. Beautiful.
There we go.
There you go.
All right. So we got this challenger level player playing Echeverry tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not playing this one.
I'm
This
not
is
playing.
what I looked at. I'm not playing. I think this is 5.5 games is just a lot of games.
Yeah.
But there could be an argument here for laying the 5.5. Like I would rather lay than take here. I just don't. I have very little belief in this challenger level player against Echeverry. He should destroy him. But
Agreed. Evans against Rinderknecht. I'm on Rinderknecht here. I got -1.5 at -110. Evans just been so bad. He's been terrible. He's been winning, I think 48% of points on clay this year. And Rinderknecht, I think, is at 50. So the fact that he's like 2 percentage points higher on clay, that's a pretty substantial difference.
it's something. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like
It's not a super high confidence play, but
it probably ends up being a stay away to me because like I'll have to look more at it. But like it probably ends up being a stay away for me.
Evans is 2-5 on clay this year. He's won 48.3% of points. His serve points won, return points won on clay this year is 96.
Yeah.
97.
No, I mean Rinderknecht probably should be a favorite. I just don't know if he's favored too much to be like worth playing at this point. And
It's in France too.
yeah, it's fine. I gotta think about it more. I'm probably gonna stay away, but I gotta think about it more.
Okay. All right. So that's a play for me. I'm only doing it at 1.5. I'm not gonna play that at 2. I think the money line at -145 is also good. I stay away from all Hugo Gaston matches. I never plays matches anymore.
What is the under 8.5 in the first set there?
Gaston Galan
Yeah, under 8.5 in set one.
plus 250.
That'd be worth playing. Gaston loves to tank sets.
Yeah. It's a decent look.
Gaston this year on clay so far. Yeah, probably. It's probably like there's probably no play there. It's probably ends up being a stay away for me.
Yeah, but recently there's been, I mean, there were 2 6-2 sets. But
I looked on clay this year. I think if you add that up, if you calculate that up, it's like 7 out of 25 going under the 8.5, which makes like 250 like like right near the minimum buy point. It's probably not quite good enough. I'd probably want like 300 or something, which is it's
yeah. I'm gonna stay away there. This is my play of the day. This line is actually moved. I got it at
I
1.
know it was -145 before.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna stay away here too. I was really hoping to get plus money on Munar, man, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
No, it's not gonna happen. I mean, to me, this is playable up to 3 games. In my eyes, I just think Tiafoe's been that bad.
So my bigger thing here is
The motivation angle.
I don't think the games matter that much. Like either if Tiafoe's a better player than Munar. If Tiafoe shows up full guns blazing, he should beat Munar. There's no reason to think Tiafoe's going to come up full guns blazing here. Like I'm thinking maybe like the under 22.5 is kind of where I was thinking with it. Or maybe under 22 is -105.
But Munar also loves to tank set. He loves to give away sets too.
Who?
Munar, like he doesn't really have weapons, so if he's not feeling it, like he could be like it could be hard for him to put away Tiafoe is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like if this goes deep, I trust Munar more as well, which is why I'm laying the 1.5. Like I think the Munar 2-1 is actually a interesting look here as well.
I don't know, man. Like I don't because he's more fit than Tiafoe.
Just more like mental tenacity, more willing to compete, more willing to make balls, like more willing to construct points. Like there are a lot of reasons, you know? Like I don't think Tiafoe has the rally tolerance and the patience right now to compete with Munar on a clay court. No? I think you're higher on Tiafoe than I am. I'm like super low on him.
Right. So that's part of this, right? And like it's part of why it's kind of a useless conversation, is because like, yeah, I don't, I know you hate Tiafoe, but like I don't know, man. Like there's a couple times this year that Tiafoe's played okay. Like, you know what? But he's gotten an absolute ass kicked on the play this year on the European clay.
He's got absolutely whooped. Khachanov, I mean, that was Kachin's first win of the year.
Yeah.
Right? And then like couldn't win a set against Coria and Cagliari in a challenger. And then lost 4-2 to Kopfer. I mean, really? Like Munar is a way better clay court player than Kopfer is.
Yeah. Yeah, you probably have to get with Munar here. Maybe, I don't know. I hate this matchup because like, yeah, you probably have to get with Munar. I'll probably end up getting with Munar, but it's not my favorite play. Like it's not GBM worthy for sure.
Okay.
It's just the Munar, like Tiafoe's like weapons are way better. Like if Tiafoe plays well, he wins this match. But I completely get it because like I don't think he's gonna play well at all. Like
Yeah, his serve points one, return point one is what is it, 98 this year?
yeah, I mean,
Total
yeah.
points won at 49%. He's breaking at 19.5%. On clay this year, he's breaking at 17%. That's terrible. On
For Clay,
clay,
it's not great. But that serve points one or return points one percentage, that's that. Like this is tough because the problem is you almost have to remove Houston.
exactly. And if
But
you
like
remove
that is kind of
Houston,
where
it's
I'm
even
going with it. Is
worse.
like Houston's a goofy surface, sure. But like he did make a final. That's more than anything Munar's done this year. Which is kind of where I'm going with it. Like
Nor made this Aix-en-Provence final, lost to Tabilo 3-2. Like he beat some good players there. Jerome, Muller,
the funny
Etcheverry.
thing is that draw at Aix-en-Provence is probably as good as the draw in Houston.
Exactly. That's my point. On European clay.
Yeah, I'm certainly
Georges.
not backing TFO. Like, it's just a matter of like, do I really want to lay 2.5 games to somebody who's like just like has less upside in this match, you know? Like
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the fact that Tiafoe's a dog against Munar, like on any surface, shows how far Tiafoe's fallen.
oh, I know. I know, and he's a big dog. This isn't like that. I mean, like that's
It's
2.5
crazy.
games. That's not nothing.
I know. I know it's crazy. Um, anything else catches your eye, like for
For round one, yeah,
yeah.
Yoshi at Yoshi plus 145 against Monfils. I'm looking at that. I want to play Yoshi in some way there.
For me, it's
I
a
don't like Yoshi on clay. I get it, but like Monfils on clay since 2023, like he's got nothing except I don't think he's beat another top 100 guy except that Baez win in the last 2 years on clay.
but that's also it's also his home, he's at home.
Yeah, but Roland Garros is a way bigger deal for him.
I guess, yeah.
Like Monfils 4-8 the last 2 years on clay. His wins are Evan Furness by retirement, Enrique Roca, and Vukic.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Like,
It's good.
I don't necessarily, I'm not even necessarily sure that Yoshi's 50% likely to win that match, but I do think there's got to be a play there to back Yoshi on.
It's just a pure fade on Monfils.
Mostly, like, I just think Monfils is like, because I didn't realize until I looked into it, like, how bad he's been on clay. Like, I think there's like because like, there's no reason for it, right? But like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like I feel like maybe the market's off on Monfils here.
Yeah, you think that he would be good on clay because he slides all over the place, but like I think like he doesn't really hit big enough anymore.
Also, like, the other problem probably too is like you've got to play every point on clay, and Monfils like elects not to play a lot of points.
Right. Right. It's true.
See, I kind of want to get with Yoshi somehow there. I just don't know how yet. Like,
I'm
maybe
not
set one money line. Like Yoshi's a good guy to just like shorten the finish line with because you
yeah,
just
he can
never know
get
what he's gonna
whiny,
do.
right? I can't get there. I'm looking at Yoshi's results too, and it's just like not been good either.
Well, it's an ugly match. Like I said, like if this was pick, I wouldn't be on it. But like 2.5, yeah, I'm probably gonna end up staying away. But it's one that was interesting to me.
Mhm.
Pericard against Senego at 130. Yeah, it might end up getting on Pericard there.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit it. I think I think Sonigo is a good dog or pass guy, but like as a favorite, I'm gonna back the other guy as a dog
Yeah,
as well. Like he's a dog and pass guy in both directions. So
yeah.
I'm definitely gonna back Pericard there.
Taro Daniel, like he's just not very good on clay, but man, Darderi's played a lot of tennis. You're
Exactly.
getting
So
plus
I want to see
240
how he
there.
turns up in round one before I back him.
But so the one play I will have there is Pedro over Vilch at plus 120.
Even though Pedro has played a lot of tennis.
I think I can back him for a round.
Okay.
Like, because he really hasn't played that much tennis, right? Like, it's just Bordeaux. He lost the first round of Madrid and Madrid, Aix-en-Provence, and Rome. So it's just Bordeaux.
Okay.
See, I think that's one I like. Bordeaux to Lyon can't be that bad of a trip, right?
No, it's not. It's not that long. Um, yeah, you might be right. I don't really like this matchup for Martinez because I think Wilch has a lot. He's similar to Feast in a way, right? Like where he could blow Martinez off the court.
Oh yeah, I mean, but yeah, 100%.
I kind of like the under in this matchup.
Yeah, it could be a good look too.
Oh, it's 22, not 22 and a half. But I think that's where I'm leaning. But I also think Wilch could go away easily and just, lose in straights as well. So that's where I would lean there. I would lean more towards the under than the Pedro money line. Because
Okay.
I like what he did in Bordeaux, but I also don't like this. Like I don't like losing to Nakashima. I know Nakashima's been better, but like he's a guy you should be beating. Like I don't like losses to Radu Albot.
Albot is bad. Albot's a
Altitude.
bad loss, but I think the other things there are okay. They're not terrible. Like,
Not terrible, but yeah.
it's more fading Vilch in non like in like I don't know. It's more fading Vilch in like boring matches, like where there's these, I don't know. I feel like Vilch is better with the crowd. He's a little bit of a showman.
Okay.
Lost to Rusevori in the Turin Challenger. Lost second round to Navone in Bucharest. Like his South American play round, I don't think was particularly great.
Yeah. He's played a lot
Like
of
I just feel like he's a guy who like I want to back him when he's got a crowd either for him or against him.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be a pretty sleepy match,
Okay.
which tells me to back Pedro.
It's a good point. That's a really
And like
good
Pedro's a grinder, right? Like Pedro will grind.
He will grind, yeah. But I also look at all these two-set matches that Seabuff Wilch has played. Like he seems like an under guy.
Yeah, I think you'd rather have the under there than the over. I think either play actually is pretty valid.
Okay.
But yeah, honestly, it's kind of a lame card. Like, just not a whole lot to get excited about.
You make a good point though on the like the sleepy match aspect of it. Like that's a really good point. I'll think about it. We still got a day. So
Yeah.
all right. Sounds good. Let's head over to Switzerland, Geneva.
Yeah. This tournament does have a little more altitude.
It does. It does. And what's the weather?
It's also rainy, I think, here.
Hmm.
Yeah, potential rain.
Yep. Up to Thursday.
Yep. Even Friday, Saturday, I'm seeing is like 50-50 days.
Wow. Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, not ideal. We'll slow the court down.
All I can say is these tournament organizers must be thrilled.
Oh, to get Djokovic and Ruud is amazing. Like
It's amazing.
and they have Fritz. Like this is actually a really it's a top heavy draw, but like the top, and they got Murray. Like It's
Yeah,
a
you can have
really,
Djokovic Murray in the second round,
I
like
know.
of a
It's not a
250.
great
I mean,
tennis match, but from a pure like drawing perspective, the tournament organizers have to be thrilled.
oh, 100%. 100%. So yeah, Djokovic is the one seed, obviously. He'll get a bye. He'll play the winner of Yannick Hoffman and Andy Murray. We got Korea and Shapovalov, and that winner will play the winner of Eubanks and Griekspoor. So what are the quarter prices here? Do we have quarter prices?
Do.
Nice. So Djokovic obviously is the favorite at -225. Griekspoor plus 6-1. Shapo plus 650. Hoffman 11-1. Murray 14-1. Korea 16-1. Eubanks 25-1. I got nothing.
Yeah, I mean, Djokovic really should win this quarter, but that price is terrible. What is Hoffman?
11-1.
Yeah, Hoffman's been no good on clay this year, but
No,
yeah, I
he's
can't
been,
really get behind that.
yeah,
Korea's like not only really useful in hotter conditions,
agreed.
where you
Agreed.
can like wear the other guy down more.
Yeah.
I was close to either taking Griekspoor or Shapo,
I think
but
Shapo could trouble Djokovic in these conditions, but like the problem is, can he get by Korea and Griekspoor? That's the
yeah, that's why
problem.
I said I was close, but I didn't end up hitting it. I think this is probably when I'm going to be completely off.
Yeah. I'm close to hitting Shapo. Like, if he ends up playing Djokovic, I might sprinkle someone Shapo, but like he's got to get there. I don't want to like have 3 matches where I need to,
Well, I think you're better off with Shapo just playing against Djokovic, where he's a big dog, where he's
read.
probably a big dog and actually has the game to pull the upset rather than trying to get him through 3 matches. I agree.
Read.
It's a lot.
Yep. All right, next quarter here we got Fritz is the number 3 seed. He has a bye. He'll play the winner of Kovacevic and Michelson. GoFan will play Marina de Oberon, 2 qualifiers. Mahak will play Draper. So I kind of like Fritz.
Claylor! I want Claylor here at even money.
Laylor at even money.
Yeah. Like he really should be. He should not lose to Michelson or Kovacevic. Like even like style
No.
matchup wise, right? Like neither of those guys are fit for clay. And then I guess he probably has to beat Draper, but like he should be able to beat Draper. I'm not saying it should be
I mean,
easy,
they
but like
played in similar conditions in Munich. It was colder conditions, but like there was also some altitude there. It was a tight 3-set match. Like that's the problem is I
yeah,
don't
but you're getting basically even money on that with Fritz. I think he's probably slightly like it's not an amazing pick, but at even money, like when he basically you're getting that match and like look, Draper could lose to McCotch.
100%.
And he
Yeah.
could actually lose to one of those qualifiers. He shouldn't, but he could.
Especially if there's rain and he has to play back to back like 2 matches in one day, you could just forget about it with Draper.
You probably won't have that happen early rounds because like there's usually an off day built in, so you usually just end up getting off days. But like, but even still, yeah, I way prefer yeah, I like Fritz here at even money.
I mean,
Again, through the quarter, like once he gets to the
yeah.
semis, I think it's gonna be really tough for him because the draw, like if other guys get through the draw, like if Djokovic ends up playing him, Fritz maybe can keep that competitive, but I don't really see him winning that a whole lot. So
But like with Djokovic, don't you think like, oh, he might be like, do you think there's any chance of him just making a quarterfinal and being like, oh, I got enough matches, like I'm heading to Paris?
well, that's only one match if he makes a quarter, right? So like making a semi, maybe like in the last couple of rounds, maybe. But I don't think he's gonna play one match and be like, okay, I'm good. Let me get to Paris.
Yeah, so you think he's here to win this title?
No, I think he's here to win at least a quarter, though. Maybe make a final, you know.
Okay.
Like,
You know what? I might have to back you here on Claylor. I can't even say it correctly. That's how ridiculous it is. Claylor? Claylor?
Claymore. It's great. It sounds like a robot of some type.
Yeah, I might have to join you at even money. It's not GBM worthy, but I'll back you there. All right, next quarter here we got Marjan, the number 7 seed. He'll play Shevchenko,
Yeah.
Ruusuvuori against Giron, Karatsev and Kaboli, and then Shelton.
This quarter is so messy.
It's messy.
Like Karatsev mentally seems messed up. But I was disappointed to see. Like I wanted to back Karatsev here, but his price is only 10-1. Which is disappointing. I don't think that's good enough.
No.
I mean, honestly, this is like the quarter of guys who are mental messes.
Or guys
Like,
that are like high ceiling, low floor.
same thing, right? But a lot of it's
Right.
because they're mental messes. Like Shelton still hasn't learned tennis tactics yet. Kaboli's young. Ruusuvuori still hasn't learned tennis tactics yet and probably never will. Yaron can just mentally get into a weird state, although he's been better about that lately, but he still gets his butt kicked a lot.
Yeah.
Shevchenko can still be immature at times. Karatsev has always been immature.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's the guy they were sitting at plus 400?
Marjan.
Yeah, Marjan is too flaky day to
Yeah.
day.
I'd rather back him match to match rather than like.
And yeah, 100%. I actually think the Marjan price is decent there, but I'd rather back him match to match than try to back him on a futures and try to have him win 3 matches in a row. So
I'm
I'm on nothing here. I just think like all these guys are a mess.
Yep.
I was hoping Karatsev would be a longer price, but 10-1's not great.
Yeah, you'd have to play Kaboli, Shelton, and I mean they're all winnable matches, but yeah.
But he's probably a dog in all 3.
Yeah. You could roll it over.
Yeah, you got to get rid off doing that. Yeah.
All right, this quarter has already 2 matches completed. So Baez beat Nagal 6-3. I was this close to hitting the over 20.5 in that match, and I laid off of it because I was like, Nagal has been terrible since Monte Carlo. So
Wasn't he hurt for a while? I don't even know if he played for that.
Yeah, and that's right. And that was another thing. He hasn't played much since that. So and then we hit our GBM play with RCB beating Altmaier. So that was good. So those 2 guys will play and then in the round of 16. And then we got Rinky and Offner. And that winner will play Casper Ruud.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really tempted to back Ruud here at minus 125. Again, it's 2 matches. He's got to play Offner or like maybe even somehow Rinky. And he's got to play Baez or Baena. He should beat those 2 guys. He really given how poorly Baez does against tough top competition.
I agree.
He really should beat those guys. But maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe not. Minus 125 is really not a great price. I might end up just staying away. But the problem here is I don't have anybody else I like here besides Ruud. For me, it's either Ruud or pass.
What about an outright here?
Whose outright do you like?
I mean,
Draper at 22-1 could be interesting.
No, you can't trust Draper in a.
Yeah, you can't. Right, physically. Yeah, you're right. You can't trust. Yeah, you'd rather
no.
be off rolling it over.
I kind of like Ruud at plus 325.
Yeah, I kind of going. I might end going Ruud. That might end my play is Ruud to win the event at 325. That seems pretty good.
Like the thing is, he has the much weaker half. Right?
Yeah, he does. He does have the weaker half.
So
Yeah,
I trust him to make the final, whereas Djokovic actually has some roadblocks. Like Greek Spore at altitude could blow him off the court. Chapo, as we talked about before.
I think it's more that Fritz has to play Djokovic.
What?
I think it's more that Fritz has to play Djokovic, and they could easily one of those 2 could easily knock the other one out.
Yeah. Exactly. So I kind of like Ruud at plus 325. I'd actually almost rather back him at that price to win the event. And like, you know how he vultures up 250s.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Oh, I
I may
think
end up doing that as well. I got to think about it for a couple more hours, but I may end up doing that as well.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
But like, I don't like this because I think like I'd rather just play the Rude because like I think he's the only guy that can like beat those guys.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh,
I hear you.
yeah,
It feels like a very chalky draw to me, to be honest.
it does.
Like it's just like the way the draw played out. Like Djokovic's quarter is not that tough. Like Ruud has the toughest quarter, but I think he's pretty well equipped to beat those guys. Like,
Yeah. As far as the matches, we're not going to go through each match, but like, what catches your eye?
um, maybe your own to beat Rusevori again. I got to think about that one. That potentially could. Um,
I'm on a couple unders here. I'm on the Rusevori Giron under. I know it didn't hit in Rome, but like, I'm going to go back to the well. Like, I think that
okay,
hits. If they do that, if play that match 10 times, I think 6 out of 10 go under probably.
okay,
So I'm gonna go there. I like the Marjan Shevchenko under 22 and a half.
okay.
I just like both of those guys are just super volatile, but like
They are.
either guy can just blow the other guy off the court if one guy's missing. And I
That
think
makes
these
sense.
guys played in Rome as well, right?
I think so.
And Shevchenko beat him easily.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, they played in Rome. Yep, 3-2. So, and Marjan plays a lot of like 2-set matches, it seems. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Yeah, more often than not.
7,
Like,
8, 9, 10. 10 out of his last 12 are 2 sets.
yeah.
So, because he's either on fire or he's just atrocious,
Yeah.
you know? So, I like those two plays. Nothing on Rinky and Offner. I'm not on Karatsev or Kaboli. Although the Karatsev price is approaching the price point where I might want to dabble.
Yeah, set one for Karatsev could be interesting too.
Yeah, that's true. I love Hoffman -1.5 against Murray. That's going to be one of my favorite plays.
I don't know, man. Like the problem with it is like, when is Murray good? You know, like I know he played badly, I think this first match back, but like at some point he's got to be good, and then he should be good.
I mean, he got whipped by Grigor,
Rare, I know, I
and
know.
it was 6-4, 5 love, I think.
Yeah.
So, like that match was more lopsided than even the score suggested. And then he
Yeah.
beat Kiri and Jacquet, but like just because of a retirement, you know? So,
Yeah.
um, and like, yes, Hoffman hasn't been good, but like this is an injured Murray with a who has a like a fractured foot with a one hip,
Yeah.
you
Yeah. It's a
know?
mess. I know.
Like
I
it's a
know.
complete mess playing on clay where, you know, what in his like heyday, he's always had to like work on his movement on clay. Like it's not natural for him.
Yeah, it's his least natural surface, but yeah, yeah.
So I'm definitely gonna back Hoffman there for sure. You're not on board?
I gotta think about it more. Like it's tough for me because like there's a lot to evaluate there.
Okay. Mahawk and Draper, I'm on the under 22 there.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean,
Uh,
Draper should crush him, so that probably makes sense.
he should, but like there is a world that Mahawk beats him easily too, right?
Yeah. What about Corey Chapo 3 sets?
That's an interesting look. I like that. Plus 135.
Yeah, he might do that. Yeah, that seems plausible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think about it more, but it seems plausible.
Yeah, it looks good. I like Kovacevic against Michelson. I think he's slightly more comfortable on clay than Michelson is.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I mean, again, it's never really got to think about it, but I think that makes sense.
And I like Moreno de Labron as a dog against Goffin.
Yeah, I look at that a little more too, but I tend to like that at first glance as well.
Yeah. And then Baez and Bayana. That's an interesting match. I could probably go for 3 sets there as well. They have a line. Plus 135.
The standard.
Yeah. Yeah. So any GBM
Yeah,
plays tomorrow?
I'll think about it a little more and put some picks up at some point. But yeah, I don't know. Seems like
Okay.
another tough card to be honest at first glance.
So for me, the only GBM worthy plays would be Hoffman minus 1.5 games against Murray. I like those underplays, but they're not GBM worthy for me. And then in Lyon, I like the Munar. Munar in any capacity would be GBM worthy.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, yeah, it's yeah, I have a hard time backing it such a big favorite. I want to get with that match, but I don't think it's 2 units for me. I think it's probably 1 unit play.
Okay. All right. And then our futures, we are on, just for a recap, I'm on the Ruud to win Geneva.
I'll
Plus
probably end up there too, but I'm definitely on Fritz at even money. And then I got to think about the Ruud.
okay.
What I'm going to do with Ruud? That's probably my last thought there.
We can make that GBM.
What?
Let's make that GBM. The
The
Fritz
Fritz?
for the second
All
quarter.
right.
Yeah, we could do that.
He really should win that quarter.
Agreed. So those are my 2 future plays in Geneva, and then in Lyon, I'm on Munar to win the second quarter, and I'm on Muller to win the fourth quarter.
Yeah, so I'm on Muller win the fourth. I'm on what's his face to win the first.
Ugo.
Humbert, and I'm tempted to take the Dolo to win the third, and then you could play all
Okay.
3 of those quarters.
Right. And I'm doing the Paracard rollover.
Yep, that makes sense. I like that play. I might do it too.
And then
Like
anything in French Open qualies that caught your
I
eye?
can quickly look at the list. I doubt there is for me, but like I can quickly look at the list. There's so many matches. It's brutal.
Yeah, I just like briefly looked for Monday's matches.
Yeah.
That cuts it out, to some extent. So I'm on a blind fade of Domi team. He's playing Franco Agamenoni. I don't think team should be minus 220 against anyone.
All right. I hear you on that.
Like, that's way too short. And like Agamenoni is not that good, but like team is losing to literally everyone.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, he's just been awful. Like Moro Cañas, his first ATP win. He could win 3 games against RBA. He's losing to Gasquet.
Yeah.
He's losing to Lucas Neumeier 2-1.
Yeah.
Like
He's had some bad matches. I think I got
Daniel
I think
Mikhalski.
Yeah, this to me feels like you gotta play that other dude and blind fade team.
This is the blind fade, man.
Yeah.
This is the complete blind fade. And it's sad to see, but like as long as he's on the tour, I'm gonna make some money out of it.
Yeah.
Like I feel but because I genuinely like the guy and what he's gone through, he doesn't deserve, but
Yeah. Jimenez, I mean he's I tend to agree with you. I think there's probably value there. I'll probably end up backing that one myself, particularly that particular match.
okay. All right. I am on Vachereau and Debreu. They played a challenger match. It was 6-6.
Okay.
So I'm playing but I think Vachereau is a much better player than Debreu is. So I'm leaning towards the Vachereau over 12.5 at minus 120.
Okay.
It's gonna be my play there.
I know nothing about DeBruce, so
yeah, I was just going. I mean, there's a recent head-to-head match where it was 6-6.
yeah.
And it was pretty close in points. I think it was like 65 to 61. So, yeah. So just based on those stats and the recent sample size made it like
Makes sense.
easily handicapable. I'm on Blanchet, set one money line against Garin at plus 185. I think that home crowd might get to him. Garin has not been as good since Estoril.
Well, wait, he beat Zverev in Munich. He made money off
Yeah.
that. I
So
don't know, man. Like,
since Munich, like he
okay,
lost.
so he lost to Mueller and he lost to. I mean, the loss to Kukushkin's really bad, but yeah, I don't know, man.
But
I
he lost first set to Michelson in Munich. He went 7-6 to Kopfer in Munich. He
yeah,
lost
but then he won those first two sets pretty cleanly. Like, I'm not the 2 points that you got there, the and the Kukushkin loss are both pretty bad.
But I'd rather, like, since Garin is the much better player, I'd rather do it initially when Blanchet is fresh. Plus, he gets that adrenaline rush from the home crowd. So,
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah. So I'm definitely gonna go there. I much prefer than the full money line. What else was I on? Oh, Hamad over 12.5 against Pui at
Yeah,
minus.
Pui seems to compete in these qualifier matches for slams. I think that's probably what he's living for at this point. I get that. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think Hamad is the better player, but it's in France. So like I find it hard to believe that Pui won't get 5 games in a set.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes
You know?
sense.
So that's another play. And do I have anything else? That's it. Just 4 plays in the qualies.
Yeah.
I'm leaning
I think that
towards
makes sense. Like I said, I might look at it briefly, but I don't think I'll have too much there. It's just like so many guys I don't know anything about, to be honest.
Yeah. I was leaning Prismic plus 135 against Napolitano just on talent, but Prismic has played very little since the Australian hardcourt swing. It's a little disappointing, to be honest, because like this kid has game.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was hurt. I don't know if he's hurt or what's going on there.
Yeah. But all right. So any parting shots before we
No, man, I'm pretty gassed out. It was a long pod. We almost went 3 hours, so I'm good.
All right.
I'll
Well,
post my picks to Twitter once I have them. I gotta still think through them, except with with the exception of the futures. But
sounds good. All right.
all right, cool. Have a good night, guys.